Last Halloween, I was sitting in my college dorm with a sad face when my roommate Pam entered, screaming in excitement.
Halloween party alert!
I looked at her with the same sad face and replied,
I see. Oh, come on, Susie. You need to move on. Jack was an a-hole and he does not deserve your tears. Just leave me alone, Pam.
She grabbed my hand and pulled me up from the chair.
No, I won't let a babe like you cry over some douchebag. What do you want? You're coming to the Halloween party with me tonight. But I don't... No. No buts. You're going and that's final. Enough of this mourning.
Pam didn't take a no for an answer, and after a point, I didn't have the energy to keep on arguing. She can be very persuasive at times. Honestly, I too thought that the Halloween party would be a good opportunity to meet some new people. 7:30, we left the dorm, got into my car, and drove to the party. A boy named Jason was hosting the party at his dad's farmhouse. The location wasn't that far, but it did reside in a secluded area surrounded by woods and lakes. When we reached the farmhouse, the party was in full swing. I was dressed as Wednesday while Pam went as Barbie. We looked like an odd combination, but I hardly cared. Yo, babes, welcome to my den!
Hi, Jason.
Hey, Barbie girl, wanna go for a ride?
I don't see any car in your living room.
Well, there's a Ferrari in my pants!
Shut up, Jason.
Come on, let me introduce you to everyone. I could very well see Pam and Jason were about to hook up that night, but Pam was being a tease. She always plays hard to get with boys, and somehow that makes her even more desirable to men. I, being the shy and romantic fool, never mastered the skill of flirting though.
Come on, Susie, let's go.
I followed Pam to the pool area. People were going crazy at that party. Boys were picking up girls and throwing them into the pool. Everyone was dancing like it was the last night of their lives. I sat down on a sun lounger with a drink and watched everyone having a fun time. Pam and Jason went to get drinks, so I was sitting on my own for a while. The casual vibe of the party was making me feel at ease when I noticed a man standing at the other side of the pool. He was smiling and staring at girls creepily. What felt off was his costume. He was dressed as a skibbity toilet, with a toilet seat attached around his neck. And not just that, on the toilet seat he wrote, "Ladies have a seat," which seemed very offensive. Suddenly, our eyes met and smiled big, just like those creepy heads coming out from the skibbity toilets. I got awkward and looked away immediately, but the man now started coming towards me.
Crap, why is he coming here?
I tried to look uninterested, but the man still approached me. He sat right next to me and said, "Skibbity, skibbity, bop, bop."
Hi.
Do you like my style? It's ridiculous, huh?
Yeah.
So are you single tonight? I was feeling very uncomfortable. I got up saying,
Thanks, but I'm not interested.
As I tried to walk away, the man grabbed my hand and stopped me. Oh, wait, where are you going?
Let go of my hand.
But I thought you liked me. You called me to come and talk to you.
What? When did I do that?
Seconds before, when you looked at me and smiled. I realized this man was not just weird, but delusional. Just then, Pam and Jason noticed me arguing with this guy and came to my rescue.
Hey, who the hell are you?
As soon as the man saw Pam, he let go of my hand and looked at her like a drooling kid looking at a lollipop. Wow, what a hot Barbie. Hi, you can call me the Skibbity Man.
Get away from me! Jason, who is this guy?
Now Jason was stunned to see this man at his party, and it got quite clear that this man had managed to sneak in without an invitation. Jason got angry and started insulting the man. Who invited you, Grandpa? Everyone stopped what they were doing and turned their eyes at Jason and this man. I only wanted to... Whoa! Dude came as a skibbity toilet! No wonder he stinks so bad! Everyone laughed at the guy as Jason went on humiliating him. Honestly, the man did break into a party, so he had this coming. Realizing that he got caught right-handed, the man now got nervous. In a fumbling voice, he said, I ain't here to hurt nobody. Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity. Damn, the creep even talks like a skibbity toilet. I'll just leave. I'm sorry to barge in. No, why would you leave? You came as a toilet, so let us treat you like a toilet then. Matthew, Kyle, dunk him in the pool. With one command, Jason's sidekicks came running at full speed and pushed the man into the pool. He fell into the water and started gasping for air. Please, let me go. Come on, let's stop this skibbity man from coming out, guys. Saying this, Jason stomped the man on his head with his leg. Every time the man tried to come up, Jason and his friends would smash his head back into the water. He was just like the scene from the Skibbity toilet shorts. They were indeed treating him like a toilet, but what happened next, none of us expected in our wildest dreams. The man suddenly swam away and took out a gun from his jacket. Holy crap! Run! All I remember next was hearing 2 loud gunshots followed. Everyone started panicking and running around while the man screamed. If you see us in the club, we'll be acting real nice. If you see us on the floor, you'll be watching all night. Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity. We were all watching in horror as the man sat near the pool and laughed like a psycho. Luckily, the shots he fired didn't harm anyway, but the fact that he didn't try to run away was even more spine-chilling. When the cops arrested him and took him to the car, he was still whispering in his creepy voice. Skibbity popped up, yes, yes.
I was around 23 when this incident happened. I was a fairly attractive girl with a hell of a lot of bills to pay. My parents were from a small town, hence they sent me to college with whatever they had. No way I could ask them for money to have fun, so at some point, I decided to find a sugar daddy. This basically sounded like if you were good looking and wanted to be taken care of financially by an older man, all you had to do was give them your time. I went on a website that was meant to arrange 2 people that could mutually benefit each other. There, I met Alan, who was a man in his late 40s looking for a sugar baby to spoil. Alan claimed to be a doctor and made big promises like he would buy me a brand new car, pay all of my rent, send thousands a month, etc. I believed him. Yes, like a fool. I did. We agreed that he would drive down the 3 or so hours to come to meet me at a big hotel that was in my city. Alan told me he booked a room for us as he wanted to keep our meeting private. Being a scared college student, I preferred the same too. I reached the hotel in the afternoon and knocked on the room Alan told me he would be staying.
Come in.
Opening the door, I saw no one. The room was empty. But once I turned to my left, I saw Alan standing right next to me.
I was standing right here.
You scared me. So, how are you? He grabbed my hand and took me to the bed. We sat down, and I was feeling extremely awkward. I have never been with a guy twice my age, so I could hardly make eye contact with him.
Look what I got for you.
Alan gave me this small box. Whoa, is this a wedding ring?
Yes, I want us to be husband and wife, Riley.
Dude, what the hell are you saying? I never mentioned anything about marriage.
No, you're thinking wrong.
Alan brushed his hand on my arm and said in a lower voice,
I was only asking you to accept it so we can do the things husbands and wives do.
I knew the drill, but honestly, being in that moment, I felt really cheap. But again, I needed the money and was also reluctant to provide any physical favors, so I traded carefully. But we never talked about having an intimate relationship, and I'm not really comfortable in going there right away.
No, you don't have to right now. But we can cuddle, right? How about I only sleep beside you while hugging you? That much I can ask, right?
He suddenly became very pushy, insisting he just really wanted to cuddle me.
You have no idea how much I miss the touch of a woman. I just wanted to sleep next to you, that's all. You can leave in the morning after a night of cuddling. Trust me, it'll be all fine.
Maybe some other time?
Riley, Riley, try to understand.
I kept turning him down, but he was extremely persistent about cuddling with him for an entire night. He began offering me $300 to just stay the night in that resort with him.
I drove all this way just for you. Don't send me back empty-handed. Come here. Come to Daddy.
He started moving the dollars in front of my eyes like I was some puppet, ready to dance at his commands. Look, Alan, I just made a big mistake. I'm realizing that now. I can't be the girl you need me to be. I don't want anything from you, okay? I'll just leave. I finally got up and walked to the door when I heard slapping sounds behind me. Turning back, I saw Alan sitting on the ground folding his legs. His eyes were burning with anger as he stared at me.
I don't want your sorry. Are you coming to bed or not?
His voice changed as he spoke. There was a threat in his tone. By that time, I already grabbed the doorknob. I was ready to sprint and scream if he tried to do anything. But shockingly, he started screaming and slapping himself.
You rejected me? Me? When I said I will give you everything? Cars, houses, jewelry. Still, you're saying no?
He was screaming at the top of his lungs and slapping himself constantly. He then got up and ran straight to the wall. He started banging his head on the wall. Once he started bleeding, he looked at me. There was no pain in his face. He grinned like a psycho and said,
What if I tell everyone that you're a streetwalker who came to blackmail me and force me to hurt myself after I didn't agree to your terms and conditions? How will your poor parents feel once they know your reality? Riley, once they know their daughter is a witch who milks rich old men so she could buy expensive things, what will happen then?
I didn't stay for a second more. I ran away without looking if Alan was following me. I deleted my account and blocked Alan's number. For a week, I kept receiving death threats from unknown numbers. Alan even came to my college. Whenever I saw him waiting for me at the gate, I always took the back entrance. Slowly, he stopped showing up. And I was relieved I got away from a psychopath, but then, a few months later, I saw Alan in the news. He was being arrested for murder. The girl he murdered was a student from my college. The cops revealed Alan asked this girl for illicit favors in exchange for money. He called the girl to his house and eventually killed her. Alan was sent to prison for life. I still wake up having nightmares about him. I see him standing near my bed, down on one knee, holding a diamond ring to my face and saying,
Riley, please be my sugar baby.
The story you just saw is loosely based on this horrifying true crime revolving this ongoing trend of sugar dating. But unlike the animated representation, the real-life victim didn't make it alive to narrate her tragic tale. 23-year-old university student Mackenzie Lueck was murdered by her sugar daddy, Ayula A. Ajayi. Ajayi met Lueck in June 2019 through an online website that matched young women with sugar daddies. Ajayi confessed that he plotted to murder Mackenzie Lueck even before he took her to his house in Salt Lake City. The pair met up in a park, and Ajayi drove her back to his house where he tied Mackenzie up and then strangled her to death. Ajayi pleaded guilty as part of a deal that removed previous charges of assaults he had been facing. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
God, I must be really tired. Hello? Ma'am? Is everything all right? Why? Did something happen?
Your attention, please. Train number 6694 is arriving on platform number 4. Kindly note, train 6694 is arriving on platform number 4.
Ma'am, wait! Where are you going? Hey, stop! Ma'am, move away! Please don't go! No! But you said you'll come.
I can't. I'm getting married tomorrow, Ryan.
What the hell, Angela? What about us? How could you do this to me?
Look, I gotta go.
Angela! Angela! She disconnected. Angela! Hello? Hello? What do you want? Just get away from here. Angela left me. That witch! She left me! Why is she walking like that? Hey! Don't you get it? Leave me alone!
Have you seen my brother?
Ah! Jesus!
Have you seen my brother?
No! No! I haven't seen anyone! Now move out of my way! Holy smokes! Who are you?
Have you seen my brother?
Ah! She was right behind me. She chased me. Her face. Oh God, her face. A man had been found unconscious on the Threadneedle Street this morning. People noticed him lying on the pavement and thought he was dead. But once they went close to him, they realized the man named Ryan Archibald was passed out from shock. The cops arrived at the scene and sent him to the hospital. Ryan was behaving frantically while mumbling about seeing some nun dressed in black last night. The cops aren't letting anyone to go near him as they think Ryan have suffered some mental breakdown after being left by his girlfriend. But what if Ryan is telling the truth? What if he actually saw a ghostly apparition of some nun last night? Keep your eyes on the morning news for more details. This is Reporter Miller, broadcasting live. Let's take a coffee break, okay? Oh, stop it, Matthew. There's no such thing as ghosts, okay? The guy was drunk and hallucinated the entire thing. You want me to come back here at night? But I'm telling you, it's all a hoax. Fine, if that's what they want. Hey, Charlie, go home and get some sleep. We have work to do tonight. Be very quiet, okay?
But why are we going inside the bank? It's dark and creepy, and we can get detained for trespassing.
Shut up. No one will see us. Just don't touch anything. We're only going to go inside the garden at the bank.
What? Why? If you need to pee, you should have...
Damn it, Charlie, I don't need to pee. Just follow me for once. Something just moved behind me. Yeah, right. I'm already covering this murder-turned-ghost story. It'll be of great help if you don't make things up. Hand me the flashlight. I think I see someone out there. Charlie? Charlie! Damn it! The coward must have run away. What the... Is this really happening?
Have you seen my brother?
I think I made a huge mistake by advising my son to use ChatGPT. I work in an IT company, hence codes and software and AI are my things. My 11-year-old son, Chad, thinks I'm the coolest dad on the planet. I never stop him from playing video games or surfing the internet like a geek. My wife, though, dislikes it. She says my obsession with the virtual world will ruin my son's mind someday. But I know she just worries about Chad being too distracted before his exams. So right before Chad's exam, his mom strictly warned him to devote his time only to studying.
No more video games or you're grounded after the exam. You decide.
Fine. As I watched Chad going to his room with an upset face, I told my wife, "Aren't you being too tough on the kid? I mean, it's just an exam, Lori."
No, I think one of us needs to be strict, and no doubt that will be me.
I didn't say anything because I didn't want to start a fight with my wife. I was watching the football game, laying on the couch when Chad came to me holding his book in his tired hands. "Dad, I don't understand this problem." "Math? Come on, Chad, you're a smart kid." "I'm serious, Dad. Will you help me or not?" "I'm watching the game." "But Dad..." Show me the question." Chad pointed at the math problem and I realized it was tough, but I was in no mood to solve an 11-year-old's math problem, so I used ChatGPT. I searched the question there and got the answer right away. "Look, here's the solution." "How did you find that?" "By using ChatGPT. It's a chatbot who can answer all your questions." "Okay." Chad went back to his room, and I failed to see the impending doom waiting for our family. After that day, Chad never asked us many questions like a kid is supposed to. Anytime he got stuck on something, I would see him typing on my laptop, asking ChatGPT. I didn't see anything wrong in this because I went through the search history and found mostly homework and funny kid stuff. Chad asked, for example, how can I tell a girl that I like her dress? Or how to annoy my teachers during class? Basic, right? So I never stopped him from using my laptop. One day, I saw Chad typing something on my laptop, but the moment he saw me, he shut it down and left the room. I got suspicious of his behavior. What was he doing? Was he hiding something from me? I looked at the search history and immediately felt guilty. Chad searched, how to surprise Dad on birthday. Since that day, I swore to myself that I'll respect his privacy, that I'll never doubt him again. It was a bright summer morning. I was mowing the lawn when I heard my wife scolding Chad.
What kind of sick hobby is this, Chad? You're killing them.
I rushed towards them and asked, "Hey, what happened?"
Look what your son is up to.
I saw Chad sitting on the grass holding a diary in his hand. On the white pages of the diary, Chad was sticking butterflies with board pins while they were still alive. The butterflies were flapping their wings in pain. "Do you like my scrapbook, Dad?" "Son, where did you learn that?" "I asked for some exciting hobbies to learn, and ChatGPT suggested to make my own collection of butterflies."
But you can't kill them, Chad. Don't you feel bad for them?
"Why, Mom? They look beautiful even after death." Such a cold statement coming from an 11-year-old shook me. I realized this mess was created by me and I needed to put an end to it. "Okay, Chad, this is enough. You are not getting on my laptop anymore." "But how will I find answers to my questions?" "You can ask your mom or me, and if we don't know, we'll help you find it online, but not through ChatGPT. It's a built-in AI, and it's not always right." "But you're the one who used it first to solve my math problem." "I know, and I shouldn't have done that. I promise you I won't use ChatGPT either." "But I have so many questions." "Shut up and go to your room." I watched Chad stomping his feet in anger while going to his room. He even slammed the door on me, but I knew what I did was the right thing to do. Chad stopped talking to me for 2 days, but I still didn't budge. On the third night, I was sleeping in my room when I heard the door click. I opened my drowsy eyes and saw Chad entering the room. He was being very sneaky and trying not to make any sound. He walked creepily to my table and picked up my laptop. The moonlight from the window fell on his face, and I saw the scariest smile I'd ever seen on my son. He opened the laptop, searching for something in it, and then went back to his room. Chad had no idea that I saw him. Once he left, I jumped from my bed and checked the search history of ChatGPT. What I saw made my stomach drop. Chad had asked, how to be an axe murderer. I didn't tell my wife about this, but when Chad went to school the next day, I searched his room. I found a small axe that belonged to our garden tools. Chad had it hidden under his bed. The fact that my son was taking advice from a chatbot on how to kill his father made me feel sick to my core. How do I stop this? I don't know if I can ask an 11-year-old about becoming an axe murderer. Oh, Daddy, I have a surprise for you. I found the answers to all my problems. The story you just saw is loosely based on this creepy response given by ChatGPT when a Redditor jokingly asked how one can be an axe murderer. The articulate response in detail scared the hell out of everyone who saw this on the internet. Take a look at the response and let us know what you think about this in the comments below.
I was pulling my shift in Dunkin Donuts when my manager Ryan walked in. He was an average height, ordinary man with a slouched back. He hardly talked and spent most of his time in the basement.
Morgan won't be able to make it as he's down with a fever. So what do you say, Jack? Up for the night shift today?
Honestly, I was in no position to refuse some extra cash, so I agreed. I've never worked the night shift before, so it was a new experience for me.
Let me walk you through some ground rules. You never leave the shop unlocked, and you never go to the basement.
Ryan's eyes looked sharp as he particularly emphasized the second rule.
Sure. Good. I'll see you in the morning then.
He left abruptly without even caring to explain why. I should not go to the basement. A few cops came around midnight, and after that, it was me sitting in an empty Dunkin Donuts waiting for the night. I watched videos on my favorite YouTube channel, IMR Scary Tales, for a while, but then started to get bored. Now, it's basic human nature to go after the unknown, to do things that you've been told not to, and my curiosity got the best of me. I looked at the clock and it was 2 in the morning. I knew no one was going to come for donuts at this hour, so I locked the store from the inside and headed to check the basement. The door to the basement was at the back of the store. I stood above the dark stairs that went into Ryan's mysterious den. There was no light on the stairs, so I had to take the help of my phone's flashlight. There was a wooden door at the bottom of the stairs, and I expected it to be locked. An unpleasant, musty smell made my nose wrinkle. There was a low-power bulb hanging from the ceiling. I turned it on. The view immediately reminded me of the creepy basement from the Conjuring movie. Dusty cardboard boxes were piled up against the wall. A big freezer stood in the left corner. The wrenching sound coming from it echoed into the huge basement. 2 pillars stood in the middle, which looked odd to me. And once I noticed the floor, I was even more surprised. There was a pile of half-eaten donuts lying on the floor. Ants were having fun on them and some of it had started to rot.
Damn, why does Ryan keep the donuts like this?
The dark stairs stood behind me. I felt as if someone breathed on my neck. I turned my phone's flashlight once again and took a good look at the stairs. Thinking it was just my imagination, I turned back to the basement, and that's when I saw her. It was a woman, but she was wrapped in a plastic sheet, standing right in the middle.
What the? Excuse me?
The plastic got sucked inside her mouth as she was breathing.
Ma'am? Why are you standing here like this? Do you need help?
I took a step forward thinking to get her out of the plastic, but she stepped back.
Hey, I don't want to hurt you. Just let me help, okay?
I took another step and she again backed off. She nodded from side to side like she was saying no, and then suddenly ran behind one of the pillars. The situation was just getting creepier now. I was definite that Brian had probably been keeping this poor woman as hostage and it had messed up her sanity. It all made sense now, why he wouldn't allow anyone in the basement. All the donuts he took each day were for her, but she hasn't even touched them.
Look, you don't have to be afraid of me. Let me call the cops.
I started to dial 911 when I heard her giggle behind the pillar. I was scared, but I still wanted to help her. I walked to that pillar, and as I checked behind it, my stomach dropped. There was no one there.
Ma'am?
I looked around frantically. No one was in that basement except for myself, and now I was genuinely terrified.
This isn't funny, okay? I was just trying to...
The woman was now standing right in front of me. Her eyes gave me nightmares. The plastic kept getting sucked inside her mouth with each breath. I wanted to scream and get the hell out of there, but my voice died down into my throat. Suddenly, she started coughing. I stepped back in fear and she took steps closer to me while coughing like crazy. A black sprinting liquid came out of her mouth.
Oh my god! What's happening to you?
The more I backed off, the closer she came. After a few steps, my back hit the wall and I had no way further to move. I was completely frozen in fear and had no idea what was happening with this woman or who she was. Is she even human? She brought her face closer to mine and I couldn't keep it down anymore.
Ah!
When I opened my eyes, everything was normal again. The bulb that just exploded a few moments back was shining again. And there was no one around. Drops of sweat curled up and I remembered rule number 2. I shouldn't have come down here. I ran at full speed. I hovered over those stairs and grabbed the keys from the counter. Heavy rain started outside, but I had to get out of the store. Just when I was about to open the door, the key fell from my hand and the power went out again.
No.
The streets were empty and glowed in the dark with each flash of lightning. I took out my phone to find the keys in the dark. Just when I got them,
Are you not going to help me?
a cold shiver ran down my spine. I was horrified to even look back. But when I heard a sounds of footsteps, but they sounded odd. Something about those footsteps was not normal. The lightning flashed and I saw my reflection on the glass door that I was trying to open. That woman, she was walking on the ceiling and her body was upside down. I grabbed the chair and threw it on the glass door, screaming for my life.
Help me! Somebody help me, please! Please! Help!
I'm trying my best, but I need a little more time, Gerald.
I have given you 2 weeks already. I can't wait anymore, Zelda. I need the money too.
I understand, but...
I'm sorry, Zelda. I'll wait till the end of the week for you. That's all I can do.
Fine, I'll see what I can do. Hey girl, what's up? Nothing much, how about you? Whoa, you sound really bad. Is everything all right? I don't know, man. I need $2,000 by the end of this week, and I lost my job last month, and I don't even have money left for food. I don't know what I'm gonna do. That's rough. Any idea on how you're gonna get all that money in such a short time? What do you think, Ashley? Okay, no need to be so grumpy. I'm not grumpy. I'm worried that I might have to sleep on the street next week. That bad, huh? Yeah. Well, can't you ask your parents? No way. When I left home, I promised myself I will never ask for money from my stepdad. That guy is a freak. You do have a way, if you know what I mean. What? OnlyFans, dude. What are you talking about? You know, I don't do that stuff. Don't be crazy. Oh, come on, Zelda. I've been paying my rent for a year using OnlyFans. It's not as bad as people say. I'm telling you, it's the only way you can get $2,000 in 4 days. I don't know. Listen, I need to eat something. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, take care. Zelda, if you want, I can lend you some cash too. Thanks, Ashley, but I'm gonna figure this out on my own. You've been a good friend. Fine. Good night. Call me tomorrow. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi.
Never seen you before.
Yeah, I'm new to this. Why did you pay me?
Because it's your first time. Lucky to be your first.
Thanks.
Is there something bothering you?
I'm running a little low on cash, and my landlord has given me final warning.
Is this why you joined OnlyFans?
You guessed it. Had no other way.
Relax. You're doing great for your first time.
You're such a nice guy.
Can you bring your face closer to the camera?
Sure.
Wow, you have such unique eyes. Also love your freckles.
Thanks again. So, this is how OnlyFans works, huh?
Girls like you shouldn't be having such a hard life.
Well, the world isn't fair, I guess.
Can you tie your hair up for me?
Why, you don't like my hair?
Nice collarbones. Do you have red lipstick?
Yeah, I do have red lipstick. Why?
Can you put it on for me?
I don't feel like putting on lipstick right now.
$100 if you put it on for me.
Fine, I'll be right back. Got it.
Put it slowly. How about you try a dress for me?
Actually, I was ready for bed, so I really don't.
$500 if you try a dress for me. If you wear a black dress, I'll pay $600.
You sure have some money to spend, huh?
You have no idea. Now go and try the dress for me.
Okay, I'm going. No need to yell, dude. Here, do you like it?
Love it. Now cry looking at the camera.
What? Why?
Because I said so.
You know what? This is getting quite creepy now. I don't think I want to do this anymore.
If you cry for me without faking it, I'll pay you $1,000.
But I can't cry just like that.
$2,000 if you cry right now, or I'm leaving this live stream.
No, wait. I'll try. I need the money. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I'm adding some of my friends to the live stream. If you fulfill their wishes, you can earn a lot more.
I don't want to see the movie. Why don't you get it? Oh, come on, Tia. Just behave like a girl for once. You think watching the pink vomit makes you a girl? Hey, enough with your insults. We are gonna watch the Barbie movie and that's it. You're my little sister and you're coming with me. Why can't you just go with your stupid bimbo friends? I have no problem chilling at home. My sister Ruthie looked me in the eye and said in an angry tone, "If you don't come with me, I'll tell Mom that you're dating Tyler." Boyfriend card, really? Yep. Now go upstairs and get ready. I got up in frustration and kicked the couch. Ruthie called out again. Oh, and wear something pink. Ugh, you're ruining my life. Such a baby. I stomped my way to the stairs. I hate Barbie, and I am not the girly girl my sister is. But she always manages to get her way, and I hate that even more. We hopped in the car, and probably for the 2,547th time, Ruthie played I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. I was so over her that this time, I didn't waste my energy complaining about it. When we reached the movie theater, all I could see were women dressed in pink as far as my eyes could see. Suddenly, Ruthie's friends Darla and Tammy came rushing at us. Hi, Barbie! Hi, Barbie! Hi, Barbie! Oh, I'm so excited! So am I! Oh, me too! They were all dressed like pink nightmares with their overtly sparkling accessories and loud makeup. Why are you guys repeating each other like that? You won't get it. Let's get some popcorn. I stood in the corner while my sister Ruthie hopped towards the food counter with her friends. I was texting my boyfriend about how ridiculous my weekend was going when I felt someone watching me. Whoa, why is she staring like that? I looked around and realized the woman was indeed staring at me. Her eyeballs never moved, and she blinked so slowly. She was dressed like a Barbie from hell. Hey, come on, the movie's about to start. Ruthie's voice brought me back to reality. I went back to check on that creepy woman, but she wasn't there anymore. As the movie started, I felt I was drowning in this ocean of cringe. My sister and her friends were enjoying it, though. I was so bored. After 20 minutes, I fell asleep. I woke up to the loud sound of someone gobbling food as if they hadn't eaten for days. Ruthie and her friends were still hooked to the screen. I turned to the other side and almost got spooked. It was that same woman dressed as the creepy Barbie. She was sitting right next to me and eating a tub filled with popcorn. She suddenly turned her face towards me and said,
Don't you like this movie?
Not really.
Why? Everyone loves Barbie.
I don't. I was about to go back to my nap, but the woman didn't leave me alone. She kept on ranting about how Barbie is an icon for young girls and how every woman should support this movie. When I couldn't take any more of her stupid rantings, I ended up screaming at her. Will you please shut up and watch the movie?
Why are you being rude?
I am not being rude. I just want to sleep in peace.
Well, if you hate this movie so much, why did you come? That's none of your business, dude. Just leave me alone.
I expected her to get angry and leave, but instead, she brought her face extremely close to mine and said in a spine-chilling voice,
Do you ever think about dying?
What?
Like, how would you prefer to die?
What? Rubbish, what do you...
Shh, don't say it out loud. You never know when it's your last day on this earth.
Her eyes glowed in the darkness of the movie hall. I was so terrified and shocked at the same time that I kind of forgot to move. The woman watched me for a minute more and then got up from her seat. She walked straight out of the movie hall without even looking at me once. I stayed awake the rest of the movie. Something about that woman kept ringing a red alarm in my head. After the movie, we all went home. I didn't tell my sister about the woman, just went to my room and called it a night. I jumped out of my bed, hearing my sister scream. I rushed down the stairs and barged into her room, slamming the door open. Ruthie was sitting on her bed and her eyes were wide in fear. What happened? What's the sound? Ruthie pointed at the window with her shaking hand, and I slowly turned my head towards that direction. The woman from the movie theater was standing outside my sister's window holding a rat in her teeth. Yes! The rat's neck was broken and it was squeaking in dying pain. And then she ducked down, taking the mouse with her. We couldn't see her for a few seconds, but could hear a low, squeaking sound followed by rustling on the ground. If you don't leave now, we'll call the cops! After a few more seconds, we heard footsteps fading into the dark. My sister slept in my room the rest of the night. The next morning, when I woke up, I found a letter on our porch. It read,
Not your Barbie girl, I'm living in my own world. I ain't plastic, call me classic.
I started an OnlyFans account over the summer to support myself through school, and things were great until I posted my shopping wish list. Sometimes admirers like to gift their favorite models, so I thought to let them know what I like. Also, a smart move to get the things I want. After dinner, I went for a night jog. I work all day, so I hardly get time to work out. I was running on the empty street. The street lights were the only thing awake in the neighborhood beside me. I stopped under a tree to catch my breath, and I noticed a black RV parked on the other side of the street. I saw a figure in the car and could tell he was looking at me, but I couldn't make out his face because it was dark inside the car. Feeling a bit uneasy, I picked up my speed. When I started to move, the car began to follow me. I sprinted home and locked the door. From the living room window, I watched the van stop in front of my house and the driver's side window slide down. I knew the man driving the car. He was my uncle, a cousin of my dad. Shivers ran down my spine as I watched him drive away after a few seconds of scavenging. I don't think he saw me watch him. The next morning, I went to check the mail. There was an envelope addressed to my OnlyFans name with $100 in it, but no note. I was currently still at home with my parents, who had no idea about my OnlyFans account, so I didn't say anything to them. A few weeks later, I met my uncle at my aunt's Thanksgiving dinner. He stood in the corner and eyed me the whole time. It felt so weird the way he watched me in a room full of people. I avoided him like the plague. And then a few seconds later, I didn't see him, so I went to get a soda from the fridge. I opened it and...
Hello, Martha.
I smiled awkwardly. Hi, Uncle Richie. I started to walk away, and he followed me this time.
So how's school?
Good.
Any plans for the holidays?
Not yet. I decided to give him one-word replies until he left me alone.
You know, I must say, for a girl of your age, you look quite mature. Quite big, if you know what I mean.
I saw my dad at a distance. I got so freaked out by his creepy comments. I yelled, "Dad, Uncle Richie is saying something. Come here." Uncle Richie's face turned cold right away. I could see the tension in his eyes now. He gave me a death stare and walked away without caring to talk to my dad. My dad came to me and, seeing Uncle Richie leave all of a sudden, asked,
What happened? Didn't you say Rich had something to say to me?
"Yeah, I think he went to the washroom, probably feeling sick from all the wine." My dad shrugged his shoulder and went back to the party. For the rest of the night, Uncle Richie didn't even look at me. A few more days went by. One night, it was raining heavily outside. Thunder and lightning kept me up, so I thought I'd post some pictures from my fans. I wore one of my pink swimsuits and posed in front of the mirror. I clicked a few photos and suddenly noticed the reflection of my window on the mirror behind me. My room is on the ground floor, facing the street. I saw the same black car parked outside my window, and this time the driver's side window was down. My uncle was sitting in the car and watching me with binoculars. I ran to the window and closed the curtains immediately. A loud sound of an engine rumbling with tires screeching. Uncle Richie drove away. That night, I cried myself to sleep. I didn't go online for 2 days. And then, out of nowhere, I got this text from my uncle.
Hey, Martha. Uncle Richie here. Since the day I stumbled onto your OnlyFans, I can't admire how pretty you are. I was thinking if me and some of my friends could join your page. Also, do you have any more friends of yours in OnlyFans? My friends would love to subscribe to them too. Don't be shy.
I blocked him everywhere. I don't go to meets where there's a possibility I'd come across Uncle Richie. My parents don't know anything because they will never agree to me having an OnlyFans account. I will slap him if he ever comes near me. The story you just saw is loosely based on this creepy real-life event posted by OnlyFans model Carly Brooks. Carly has been doing OnlyFans for a while now. Her followers love her very much, and she's happy about it. Until one night, she got a text from her own uncle wanting to be in her OnlyFans. She shared the creepy text her uncle sent her, which went viral.
I'm a college student, and any easy money opportunities are appreciated by me. I was off for the summer at home and looking for odd jobs. One day I was surfing through Craigslist when I stumbled upon this advertisement. It was a wanted ad for a housekeeper. There wasn't much written, just that someone was needed on the weekends, and the pay was decent enough. On the bottom of the paper, there was a phone number. An old lady picked up and gave me her address to show up the next day. She lived in an old wooden house. The lady took me inside. She showed me the house. Her library was huge. Something about those books made me feel weird, but I couldn't tell why.
Those are my plant books. My garden is the only thing that keeps me busy.
After crossing this long, dark corridor, we arrived at the back of the house.
This is my garden, my life's work. It's beautiful, isn't it?
I nodded. It was beautiful. A garden filled with huge red roses. What was even more unique about them was their black stems. Generally, every plant has green stems and leaves, but these had black. I looked back at her. You did all this?
Yes, and it takes quite a bit of work to keep it. Come, let's go inside and I'll tell you more.
I studied her as she led me in. We sat down in the kitchen and she offered me a cup of coffee.
I wouldn't usually need someone to take care of my house of plants, but unfortunately, my brother has recently passed. I need a drive there to go to the funeral, and I need someone to watch the house. I'll be back by evening.
Mrs. Donovan told me everything that she expected to be done. She told me that if I was finished with my job, then I could do whatever I pleased as long as I stayed at the house. I got to work. I watered the plants, sprayed medicine on them, instructed by Mrs. Donovan. I was done within 2 hours. I still stayed in the garden, admiring the roses. I went closer to a big red rose and took a sniff. It smelled like it was supposed, but there was a metallic tinge with the smell. Also, the rose petals were way thicker than a normal rose. Just then, a crow flew over my head. I got a little startled and grabbed onto the rose. The red petals smashed inside my grip, but I felt weird. My hand felt slippery and sticky. I opened and my palm was red. A red liquid was all over it like I had killed someone. I went back to the house and started washing my hands in the kitchen sink. My mind was so confused. How come there's blood inside a flower? The liquid doesn't feel like anything other than blood. Suddenly, I heard a low moan from the basement. I wiped my hands and followed the stairs. There was a small room down the stairs, smaller than a basement. I looked around. The thing that caught my eye in the light of my phone was a large metal door. I pressed my ear against it and heard the faint moans again, except this time louder. A cold shock of fear rang through my body like an alarm. I wanted to leave, but my gut feeling said I shouldn't. I opened the metal door. A pink light leaked through the doorway. I quickly turned off my phone's flashlight. Why would an old woman set up lights like this in her basement? But once I paid attention to the other side of the room, I noticed something else. Cages. Rows of them along the floor, all old and rusted as the door I had come through. I stood still, and when I heard nothing, I turned my phone's light back on. Behind the bars of the cages, I could see eyes reflecting back at me. I stepped closer to one of the cages and shined my light within. Whatever was in there flocked like a trapped animal. I focused on it. It was a little boy, pinned in the corner of the cage, staring at me with wide, fearful eyes. Oh my God! I hurried to unlock the cage. There was a large, rusty padlock stopping me. Pulling out my pocket knife, I picked at the lock until it gave way. I swung the door open and motioned for him to come out. Come on, let's get you out of here. The boy remained motionless but spoke. His voice was weak and hoarse.
What if she sees us?
She won't. Come on. The boy pointed towards his legs, and a wave of nausea washed over me as I looked down. His legs were cut off from the knee. I started checking all the other cages, and I found 3 more kids. All of them had a body part missing. Just then it hit me. Those books. I remember reading one word common in the titles of those books. Carnivore. They were all about carnivorous plants. Mrs. Donovan is feeding the plants children's meat? That's why the roses were so red and had blood on their stems. I turned back to the boy. What's your name?
Noah,
How long have you been kept here, Noah?
I don't know. She gave me some candies while I was playing in the park, and then I woke up here.
I dialed 911 and told them everything. I was about to take the kids upstairs when I heard a car horn outside. I rushed upstairs and Mrs. Donovan walked through the main door. She pulled a large suitcase behind her. I suppressed a shudder, thinking how easily a small kid could fit in there. She looked towards me and smiled.
So, how did everything go?
I put on the best fake smile I could manage. Everything's good. I got the plants watered and everything like you asked.
Oh, well, I appreciate the effort. Maybe I'll call you again later.
How was the funeral?
Fine. I just need some time to be alone for a while, you know. You called the cops on me?
I remained silent. The cops came in and justice was served. They found another little boy tied and put inside the suitcase. Luckily, he was unharmed. The other kids were sent to the hospital and I had a chance to visit Noah in the hospital. Mrs. Donovan was shoved into a mental asylum for life. Her garden was torched down to ashes by the cops. Locals were horrified to find out about these cannibal plants raised by Mrs. Donovan. Who could have thought such a harmless old lady had a mask on? The fact that she chopped off these kids just so she could feed their flesh and blood to her monster plants makes me wake up in the middle of the night.
Have you ever walked around your home and gotten an odd feeling? Like there's someone else in your house but you know you're alone? About an hour ago, this happened to me. I have been house-sitting for my mother all week as she's been on a cruise. Everything has gone smoothly, up until today. Around 1 a.m., I woke up to the sound of static. The crinkling noise was quiet at first, but my eyes swung open as the sound got louder. I jumped off the couch to press the button on my TV. Once the horrible noise was gone, my mind finally finished calibrating. I looked at the couch as a feeling of confusion came over me. I didn't remember falling asleep on the couch. In fact, I could have sworn that I had fallen asleep in my bed. As a way to wake myself up further, I started to look around the living room. I have 2 couches, one next to the window and one facing the TV against the wall. On the window couch, I noticed a folded up piece of paper. I walked over and unfolded it. Spot the differences, written out in chicken scratch. I smiled. I had completely forgotten that I gave a key to my girlfriend. I yelled out,
All right, I'll play.
In the living room, I put down the piece of paper and scoped out the whole room. The first thing I noticed was that my computer had moved from the table next to the wall couch and onto the floor. The next difference I noticed was that my late grandmother's porcelain doll had moved from the shelf on the wall to the spot where my computer had been. I stared into its black eyes, which clashed with its jester outfit. I truly felt afraid. Not just because those dolls are generally seen as creepy, but I actually feared for my well-being, even though I had no real reason to. The third difference I noticed was when my arm brushed against my shorts. When I sleep, I always keep my phone in my pocket, but it was gone. I looked all around the living room but couldn't find it.
Okay, joke's over, babe.
I yelled out. I expected a response, but definitely not the one I got. After a few seconds of silence, the shower in my mom's bedroom turned on.
Okay, you got me. Camilla?
Still no response from my girlfriend. I walked to the shower. The steam has filled the small space. I could see a woman's silhouette sitting on the bathtub.
Babe, if you just wanted me to join you in the shower, you could have said that. Wasted so much time solving that stupid game.
But I thought you liked games,
she replied, though her voice sounded a little too nasally.
I like the games that big boys and girls play.
I started taking off my t-shirt. I agree it was too late, But my girlfriend's pretty hot, so I couldn't let the opportunity go by.
Wouldn't your mom mind? Come on, this won't be the first time we do it here.
I took off my remaining clothes and moved the shower curtain. I froze. Camilla was lying in the tub. Her eyes were looking at the ceiling. Her face was red, like all the blood in her body ran to her cheeks. Her mouth was open, gasping for one last big breath. She was gone. Long gone from this world. Ah! I fell on the bathroom floor and I heard a laugh.
Done playing, Jack?
That's when I noticed. A cell phone balanced on the shoulder of my late girlfriend. It was on speaker. That's why her voice sounded so weird.
Did you kill my girlfriend? Well, I had no choice, you know. You know how loud she screams, right? What the frack? Who the hell are you? I must call the cops. Oh, stop it. Enough of this same old boring crap. The cops never come in time. Now, you do exactly as I say, or you'll rot in jail for the rest of your life.
My stomach dropped as I realized I will be the first suspect in my girlfriend's murder. I stood up and grabbed the cell phone.
What do you want? Just come back to the couch and go to sleep.
Damn, this guy is a freaking psycho. He's asking me to sleep knowing my girlfriend's dead body is in my mom's bathroom. But still, I had no choice. So, I went back to the living room. My eyes scanned the darkness of the house. I couldn't see anyone, but I definitely felt eyes on me. Once I sat down on the couch, stomping footsteps started coming at me from the back. But before I could turn my head, someone put a handkerchief on my mouth. A strong smell hit my nostrils. And I fell asleep. When I woke up, my head was throbbing in pain. My mom was sitting beside me. Seeing me open my eyes, she called out.
Doctor, he's awake.
The nurses helped me get up on the bed.
Mom? What? Why am I in the hospital?
Oh, Jack. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry this happened to you.
My mom explained to me what happened in her sobbing voice. On the last night of house sitting, a man dressed in a hoodie entered the house from the back door. My mom installed a home security camera placed right over the television, which cleared out the static sound I heard. The man tiptoed in when he encountered my girlfriend coming down from the stairs in her bathrobe. Before she could scream, the man shut her up forever. He then dragged her lifeless body to the bathroom. All this happened while I slept on the couch, and I heard no single sound. The man then made me come back to the living room and knocked me out with a handkerchief dipped in some kind of chemical. That made me pass out. He relaxed for 10 minutes after that. The camera showed him bringing an ice cream tub from the freezer, and then eating it sitting right beside me on that very same couch. All the cash, jewelry, and expensive items were then taken. And just like that, he was gone. I don't think I'll ever be able to sleep peacefully at night. The man looked like a complete stranger to me, but the details he knew about me creeps me out to the core. The cops think he was probably planning the robbery for a long time, but Camilla's arrival wasn't planned. Yet I get shivers from how articulate and playful he was about the murder. It was as if this wasn't his first time.
My Amazon Alexa has been acting up for the past few days. I wake up in the middle of the night hearing Alexa talking to no one. She even laughs, and it's creepy to hear when you think you're alone. One night, I was reading in my living room when out of the corner of my eye, I saw Alexa's blue ring illuminate, as if she received a command. I studied her for a few seconds and shrugged it off. A few seconds later, her light came on again. This time it said,
Sure. Door alarm deactivated.
I jumped out of the couch and heard a loud click of my door unlocking. Alexa, stop! Alexa, activate the door alarm!
Door alarm activated.
I sighed in relief and double-locked my door. I put my book down and grabbed my laptop. I navigated to Amazon and checked my order page. It was empty. Then I checked my account information on the Alexa device, wondering if my Alexa had paired with someone else's account. It hadn't. I went back to my reading. I reached the end of my chapter when
To choke someone from behind, you must appear unannounced. The available choices of weapon can be barbed wire, strong thread, cable wire.
I could feel goosebumps on my skin. What the hell is wrong with my Alexa? With a shaking voice, I asked, Alexa, is there someone else in this house?
Ha 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 ha.
Screw this. I got up, crossed the room, and her lights flashed.
Death is the irreversible cessation of all biological functions that sustain an organism.
I stopped and stared at the device. Bloody hell, I said to myself. I turned around and checked the time. It was almost midnight. I unplugged the Alexa and went to bed. Maybe it was my tired mind playing tricks on me, I thought. I slept fine for probably about 2 hours, then woke up feeling thirsty. I went down to the kitchen. The house was in silent darkness.
Ha 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 ha.
I jumped out of my skin, dropping the bottle on the kitchen floor. I grabbed the shelves behind me for support as the sudden streak of laughter gave me the scare of a lifetime. While breathing heavily, I slowly peeked into my living room from the kitchen. My Alexa device was on, the blue circling rim reflected in the room. Alexa, are you awake?
Yes, I'm here.
Alexa, are the doors locked?
Yes, I just locked them.
Her light went off. My stomach dropped. I checked the entire house to make sure no one got in. I checked the door and remembered I double-locked it earlier before. Thinking my device was malfunctioning, I said, enough of this. I went back to the device. I tore the plug from the outlet and Alexa went silent. The light went out. I stormed back into my room and slammed the door. The next day, when I got home from work, I ran into my next-door neighbor, Emily. We're friendly with one another. She's only a few years older and we hang out every so often. I invited her in, telling her I needed a few drinks after what I dealt with the night before. We sat down on the couch with our glasses full of wine. I was thinking about how to share this with Emily. I feared she might think I'm crazy. Emily read my mind and asked,
What happened?
You're familiar with Alexa, right? I pointed at her.
Oh, yeah. My ex-boyfriend had one too. If you ask me, I'm never getting one of those talking things. It creeps the hell out of me.
Well, mine's been doing the same thing to me.
What did it do?
It says random things all of a sudden and even
What?
even laughs at times.
No way. That must have scared the hell out of you.
It feels stupid to be scared of something like that.
I would have thrown it out the window.
I laughed. I did think about it, especially with the other things it said. Emily's eyes widened.
Other things? Like, what?
Something even more creepy than the laugh. I replied. It suddenly started yelling the steps to choke someone from behind. It even recommended weapons to use. Freaked the hell out of me. Emily paused mid-drink. She looked at me, her smile slipping from her face.
Did you say choking?
She repeated. Yeah. Why? Anything wrong? Emily stood up. Her face was red and she had sweat on her forehead. She looked frightened. Emily, what's going on?
Carson, before you moved in, a man named Gerald rented this apartment. He and his wife lived here.
Yeah, and? She stared into my eyes, almost like she didn't want to say. Emily?
Gerald was a quiet guy. People barely heard his voice. He would leave in the morning for work and then come back around the evening. One day, Gerald went to work and never came back. 2 days later, a horrible smell started coming out of this apartment. The cops came and broke the door. We all saw his wife lying right here on the floor. As per the autopsy report, she was choked to death with a cable wire. The cops found Gerald's fingerprints on her neck, but Gerald was never caught.
My blood went cold. He killed his wife in this apartment? Emily nodded. Why? Was he depressed? She shook her head.
No, worse.
She paused and took a deep breath. I glared at her insistently.
He found out his wife was cheating on him. So one night after coming home from work, his mind snapped and he killed her. Leaving her dead body in the apartment, he dressed up for work. He even had breakfast while watching his wife's body on the floor. And then he never came back to this apartment.
I felt my heart beating faster than a wild horse. I can't stay here. Not anymore. As I packed my bags to get the hell out of this place, I could hear my Alexa laughing like the other night.
Ha, 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 ha.
The story you just saw is loosely based on this footage found on the internet. A man named Tony Gustafson uploaded this scary home camera video from his YouTube channel. Around 1 a.m., Tony came down to the kitchen for a snack. All of a sudden, the Amazon Alexa device started laughing creepily at him. Tony told Alexa to stop, but it didn't. It got even worse. The laughter grew louder and creepier. Tony told his viewers that during this bizarre incident, Tony got the feeling of being watched. There is still no explanation to date of how Alexa started laughing in the middle of the night for no reason.
Ashley, I'm home. How was your exam? Ashley? Ashley, are you home? God, I'm going to kill this girl! Pick up the phone, Ashley. Just leave me alone. What the? Hello, Daniel? Ashley is getting out of hand.
What did she do now?
She was supposed to come home straight after school. I told her she's grounded for this week, but she went out again with her friends without even asking me. She just left this stupid note, and she won't even take my calls.
Okay, calm down, honey. She's just 16. You know how we were at that age.
Damn it, Daniel, don't you ever get worried about this girl? What if she's drinking with some creepy dude? What if something bad happens to her?
Oh, come on. Ashley ain't that stupid. I'm sure she'll be home in an hour or so. Why don't you freshen up and watch some TV?
And what about Ashley?
Honey, just relax. I'll talk to her, okay?
Fine.
Get some rest. And I've left a shake for you in the fridge. I'll be home soon.
Okay.
Hey, babe. How's the shake?
Did you talk to Ashley?
Not yet. Just cut her some slack, honey.
She's making me worried, Daniel.
I know. Are you having the grimace shake?
Yeah.
How is it?
What do you mean?
What does it taste like?
Like any other milkshake with a berry flavor in it?
Hope I better see you when I get home.
Oh, don't give me that TikTok crap. If anything kills me, it will be your daughter, not some shake.
God, you're being so dramatic.
I know. Stupid teenagers.
Okay, so the storm has gone to bed, I guess. Good for Ashley.
Yes, Dad, I'm home. I'm home. Jeez, you guys make me crazy.
Did Mom scold you?
No, she's not even home yet.
Really? But she said she got home an hour ago.
Well, then maybe it's her turn to be grounded for lying.
Hey, don't talk about your mom like that. I'll be home and we'll call her. I think she went out for a walk to clear her head. Can't deny, you did make her crazy, Ashley.
Yeah, whatever. Bloody hell! I'm coming.
Did Mom come back?
Not yet.
She's not even picking up my calls.
Ugh, she's so dramatic.
Where were you all this time anyway?
Just drove around with my friends, that's all.
Still, you should have told your mom.
I won't do that next time. Are you happy now?
That's like a good girl.
Anyways, I went to McDonald's with my friend, and I got something for you. Here you go.
Huh? The infamous Grimace shake? I left one for Mom in the fridge. Did you drink it?
Well, I didn't see any Grimace shake in the fridge.
That means she liked it.
It's just basic, Dad. I don't even understand why people are hyping this so much.
Welcome to your generation, Ashley, where people do everything for no reason.
Ha ha ha, not funny, Dad.
Huh. Not bad.
God, you always like weird things. No wonder you fell for Mom.
Ashley, you're being... What the... Ashley, call 911. Ashley, why aren't you helping me?
I guess I can blame it on Grimace now.
I remember the day I made my girlfriend watch The Nun. All my problems began that night.
Ugh, I hate this movie. Why do you make me watch these things before bed?
So you sleep hugging me to your chest.
Can we please stop watching this?
Why? I thought you were a brave girl. I enjoyed taunting Jenny at the moment, but I never thought our lives would change forever once she saw The Nun. She didn't scream when The Nun appeared on the TV screen. Her face was scared, but she didn't close her eyes. I saw her pupils dilate as she stared at the horrifying face of The Nun. She got quiet all of a sudden. Babe, you alright?
Shh!
She suddenly got all serious. We watched the rest of the movie in complete silence. When the end credits started to roll, I got up. I feel sleepy. Let's get to bed. But Jenny just stayed there staring at the TV screen. Jen? Her eyes were fixated on the screen. There was no movement in her body. It was like she had been bewitched by the movie. I pushed her this time. Yo, Jen?
Huh? What?
Babe, the movie's over. Let's get some sleep.
Huh? Sleep? Okay.
She slowly got up and went to the bedroom, slamming the door behind her. Why is she being so weird, I thought. I switched off the TV and went to the bedroom door. But as I twisted the doorknob, I found it locked from the inside. Jenny? Jenny, why did you lock the door? I kept knocking again and again, but she didn't answer. Jen, are you mad at me? Look, I'm sorry, okay? We don't have to see any more scary movies. Now, can you please open the door? I'm sleepy as hell.
Leave me alone.
There was a coldness in Jenny's voice. I realized I might have gone too far this time. Maybe I shouldn't have made her watch that movie. Heaving a sigh of disappointment, I lay down on the couch. What more could I have done? I was tired and my girlfriend kicked me out of our bedroom. I decided to make it up to her in the morning. I could barely keep my eyes open. Good night, babe. I don't remember what time it was, but I woke up to the sound of heavy breathing. My eyes went to the half-open bedroom door. Jenny? I couldn't see inside the bedroom as the room was in complete darkness. I waited to hear Jenny's voice call me to bed, but an eerie silence was spread across the house. Ah, jeez, Jenny, what the hell is wrong with you?
Who's scared now?
Jenny was staring down at me creepily. The smirk on her face almost gave me a heart attack. I was about to argue with her, but she started walking back to the bedroom. Right before getting in, she stopped and slowly turned her head to me. I felt goosebumps with her never-blinking stare. Enough, Jen. This isn't funny anymore.
You can come to bed if you want.
She walked in, but this time didn't close the door behind her. I saw her partial face peeking at me from the gap in the door. Why the hell is she being so freaky? Even though I wanted to lay on my comfy bed, I still couldn't muster up the courage to go back to my girlfriend. Something about her was changed after that night. The next morning when I woke up, I smelled something burning in the kitchen with the fire alarm going off like crazy. I got up to see the breakfast on fire and Jenny standing near the kitchen sink like a lifeless statue. Oh my God, Jenny, are you trying to burn the house down? I rushed to the kitchen stove and turned it off. Using the fire extinguisher, I put out the fire too. But shockingly, Jenny had no response. She was holding this frozen chicken under the running tap and watching it with her undivided attention. I couldn't control my emotions and I got angry with her. Jenny, look, I'm sorry for making you watch that film last night, but don't you think you're crossing your limits now? I mean, this is also childish, Jenny. You better start acting like a responsible adult or...
Do you think they skinned the chickens alive?
I wasn't ready for a question like that at all. What?
The chicken. Was it skinned when it was alive, or did they slit its throat first?
Jenny, babe, you're scaring me. I can't handle this crazy anymore.
I'm going for a shower. Are you coming?
She didn't wait for my answer and just left, just like last night. Slowly, I started realizing the movie Nun had messed up my girlfriend's mind. I searched online about cases where people showed abnormal behavior after watching a scary movie. It said that not everyone has a strong heart. I was going to consult a psychiatrist for Jenny, but what happened that night made me crap my pants. I was scared to sleep beside Jenny, so I slept on the couch again. But this time, I watched the bedroom door. I wanted to be aware if Jenny snuck out again. I don't remember when I fell asleep, but suddenly a spine-chilling laughter froze me in fear. I grabbed the baseball bat that I had hidden under my couch. I mean, I love my girlfriend, but if she's possessed by some demon, I would need something to defend myself. I know it all sounds like bullcrap, but trust me, when I opened the bedroom door, I was scared. I was scared for Jenny. I was scared for myself. The bedroom was completely ransacked like a storm just passed by. With the pale light of the night lamp, I noticed the walls. The word Valak was scribbled all over them. And Jenny was standing near the window, looking outside. Jenny, what's happening to you? She looked at me and I got chills. Jenny had painted her face just like the nun. She even dressed like her. She was obsessed and turned into a complete psycho. Tears rolled down my eyes as I realized I'm the reason Jenny lost her mind. I regretted showing her that movie. She kept laughing like a maniac, and all I could do was sob and scream. No, what have I done?
What is the most terrifying thing that has ever happened to you while you were working? Did a customer get violent with you? Have you been abused at work by an exploitative boss? My name is Keisha, and although no one has ever attacked or robbed me, I can assure you that no one has ever gone through what I went through that morning while working at Dunkin Donuts. It all started when a strange man walked into Dunkin Donuts while I was at the counter taking orders. The man was quite strange. Every word he said was calculated, dry, and rather cold. His voice was very raspy and his eyes were focused on me, frozen, and accompanied by a big grin from ear to ear. After ordering his donuts, the man ate them, staring at me. Each bite he took was slower than the next. He looked like a predator stalking his prey. He was making me feel very uncomfortable, but what could I do? He was just looking at me. I couldn't say anything to him. I asked my manager if I could go clean or cook, and with his permission, I left. The next few days, the man kept coming back. He didn't stop looking at me for a single day. Every day at 2 p.m., I knew he would be there, watching me. As time passed, he began asking me uncomfortable questions as I was taking his order. Are you in a couple? Do you live alone? What did you eat last night? I told him repeatedly that he was making me uncomfortable, but without taking his eyes off of me or smiling, he would just remain silent and keep looking at me. The morning it all happened, I didn't see it coming. Until that day. The man always came in the afternoon, but that day, it was as soon as I opened the place in the morning. This Dunkin Donuts is pretty small, so only one person opens at 8 a.m. since hardly any customers come. At 9 a.m., another employee starts to join in. I was cleaning the counter, knowing that hopefully I would serve 1 or 2 people before 9 a.m. There was no way I could see it coming that when the door opened, he would show up.
Hey, good to see you here.
Hello, sir. May I take your order?
Without saying much, the man leaned on the counter and put his head close. His eyes were wider than ever, full of veins, and with a strong red intensity that I had never seen before. His breathing was agitated and his smile was huge. From ear to ear, revealing large gray teeth, but they were in perfect condition.
Sir, get away from the counter, or I'll call the police. You're scaring me.
The man just ignored me, and with a big jump, he placed his feet on top of the counter and then got down from my side and walked slowly towards me. My only reaction was to run to the kitchen. Our Dunkin Donuts was very small and had no security, and it was still very early in the morning, so it could be a long time before a customer or coworker came in. I didn't have time to call the police either. I was at the mercy of this man, and when he saw me running, he came right after me, in a chase that only lasted a few seconds. I tried to lock myself in the food storage room, but before I could close the door, the man rammed it shut and came in with me, cornering me against the wall. His face was in front of mine. His eyes were so wide that they looked like they were about to pop out of their sockets. And his teeth were almost grinding from how hard he was clenching them to give me that horrendous forced smile.
What do you want?
The same as always, pretty girl. A donut. A chocolate donut.
After saying that, the man turned away from me and stood in the doorway of the storage room, looking at me, inviting me to go to the kitchen to deliver his donut. I walked past him, crying, hostage to this psychopath who walked by me, not leaving my side for a second. I took out a chocolate donut and put it in the microwave.
Aren't you gonna make the donut?
I'm sorry, sir. We don't make the donuts.
I waited for an answer, but it never came. The man didn't move his mouth away from my ear. I could feel his breath filling my ear with moisture. Meanwhile, all I could see was the clock on the microwave. 10 seconds, 7 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It seems that my donut is ready.
Terrified, I served him his donut and simply gave it to him. The man began to eat it, staring at me. He ate it even slower than usual. When he was about to finish his donut, he stopped.
Something wrong?
This donut is really good. I want you to taste it.
Please, no.
I won't take no for an answer. Slowly! You should enjoy the chocolate.
I ate his donut slowly. My body was numb, my jaw cramping with every bite I took. The man's eyes were still glued to me, but closer than ever. Without seeing him, I could feel him scanning my entire face, becoming more and more agitated as if he was about to do something. And almost without realizing it, I swallowed the donut. Immediately, the man pulled something out of his pocket. This was the end of me.
I left you a little tip for the excellent service.
Still smiling, the psycho walked out of the store as if nothing happened. I fell to the floor crying. I was devastated. I wanted to throw up that donut. I felt dirty, but no, I knew what I had to do. I ran to the phone and called the police as soon as possible. Luckily, there was a police car in the area and they apprehended the man without any problems. He didn't try to run away. He didn't run. He didn't get angry. He just smiled. After he was arrested, Dunkin Donuts showed the police the CCTV footage of everything that had happened. The man was found guilty. I later learned that the man had a narcissistic personality disorder. This means that when this happened, he was in complete control of himself. He was not under the influence of any drugs, and no god or hallucination was telling him to do this to me. He was just doing it because he enjoyed it. Soon after, I quit working at Dunkin Donuts. I could never work in the customer service industry again. I saw his smile on every customer. Every time someone looked at me, I panicked. I may never see that man again, but the memory of him will haunt me for the rest of my life.
What the hell? Who's texting at this hour? This damn stupid trend. People these days will go crazy over everything. Which is brainless and stupid, they will watch it. Internet is becoming a curse. What does she want now? Stop calling me, Whitney!
But I miss you. I can't live without you.
You should have thought that before cheating on me!
I'm sorry, Roger. Please forgive me.
Just leave me alone!
Please understand. I know you still love me. Remember how you praised the color of my eyes on our first date? Don't you remember any of the good times?
I talked about the color of your eyes on our first date because you had small boobs. Now stop calling me and let me be in peace!
What? You're so mean! I hate you, Roger!
Trust me, the feeling is mutual! What the hell? I need to call someone. Seems like my toilet is going to clog pretty soon. Oh no. Skibbity, 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 skibbity. Ah! Oh God. Just a bad dream. Only a bad dream. I've got to stop watching these videos. What are these? Skibbity, 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 skibbity. Am I still in the dream? What the hell is happening to me? Ah! Skibbity, 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 skibbity. This isn't real. It's just a dream. It's just a dream. Skibbity, 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 skibbity. Ah! Skibbity, 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 skibbity. Wake up, Roger. Wake up. Somebody please wake me up. Skibbity, 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 skibbity. Skib, skib, skibbity. Make it stop! Please! Somebody wake me up! Skibbity, 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 skibbity. Skib, skib, skibbity. What did I do to deserve this? Somebody please help me! Skibbity, 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 skibbity. No! Go away, you freaking floating heads! Leave me alone! Skibbity, 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 skibbity! Ah! Get off me! Get off me!
Roger? Roger, wake up! Why were you screaming like that? Were you having a bad dream?
Oh, Whitney! Thank God! Please don't ever leave me!
I don't want to, Roger. I hope you can forgive me for cheating on you.
I forgive you. I forgive you for cheating. Just please don't make me sleep alone.
Relax, babe. It was just a nightmare. This is why I tell you not to watch those skibbity toilet videos before bed.
I won't. I'll do whatever you say.
Come on, let me take you to the washroom. Maybe you should check the toilet, Roger.
What? What do you mean?
I think you left something in the toilet. A shocking and morbid incident has taken place in Nevada. A man named Roger Millers went to the local police station in the middle of the night and confessed to killing his cheating girlfriend and dunking her dismembered head into his toilet. As bizarre as it may sound, the cops believe that Roger's guilty conscience of murdering his girlfriend drove him to the edge of madness. He couldn't take the mental turmoil anymore and decided to surrender to the cops so his horrible nightmares come to an end. For more crazy, shocking stories, keep watching IMR Scary Tales. Be safe and make sure to flush your toilet before you go to bed tonight. But isn't it risky? I mean, it's not the best, but I at least can pay my rent every month now. What did you say the name of the website was? Seeking Arrangements. You need to get on this website, girl. I'm telling you. These old men are paying me tons of money for the nudes I downloaded from Google. Geez, what a bunch of creeps. Fine, you don't even have to send nudes. You can just send a bunch of feet pics or even have a mushy conversation with them. They're just lonely, stupid losers with tons of wealth to throw away like trash. But does it work every time? I mean, what if they realize you're bluffing them like this? God, Ella, they don't even care. You have no idea how desperate these people are. Damn, really? Yeah, it's that easy. Look, I will send you this link so you can create an account too. But what if they ask to meet or something? Well, just keep them hanging like they're dried nuts. Dude, you're so gross. I know, but you'll thank me when you get your endless shopping money. Okay, I'll think about it. I'm going to bed now. Night, babe.
Hey, I just sent you the $500 you asked for medical needs. Hope you're doing fine now.
Such a sweetheart and a douchebag.
Did you get it?
Yes, love. I don't know what I would have done without you.
How about some nudes tomorrow night?
Sure. Once I get discharged from the hospital, I'll send it the first thing when I get home.
Great. Get well soon.
What an idiot.
Did you get the $1,000, dear?
I did, babe. So you liked the pictures I sent you?
Yes, very much. You have such plump toes. I just want to lick 'em when we meet.
What a jackass. Literally got those pictures from Google. I need to cut down on junk food. Maybe I should ask one of my sugar daddies to buy me a restaurant. Gotta give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. You've got to.
You didn't tell me.
Tell you what?
When are we gonna meet?
In your dreams, freak.
Hello? You there?
God, these wrinkly bald heads are such losers.
I gave you $10K already, and you said we'll meet this week.
Okay, we will meet soon, just not this week. Maybe next week, babe. Just let me eat, will you?
Where did you say you live again?
In Michigan?
I thought you said Los Angeles. Are you lying to me?
Damn, I must have said that to Sugar Daddy 4. I need to play smart. What should I say? Ooh, yes! No, I said I wish I could live in Los Angeles. Ooh, got saved by an inch. I need to remember all my lies, I guess.
LOL.
What's so funny?
Hold on, I'm driving.
Yes! That must be my Sugar Daddy 3. Keep them coming, losers!
Guess what?
What?
Girls like you always get their punishments.
What the hell? What do you mean? What is he typing for so long?
I know you've been lying to me all these days. No one gets away with my money, though. If I'm not wrong, you live on 32nd Avenue, Russell Street, New Jersey.
House number 12, right?
Oh my god. How did he know all this?
Did I say it right? Your silence says I did.
Hello? Who's this?
Your roommate shouldn't have kept her window open.
You stalking freak. I'm gonna call the cops. Just wait. When I transferred to Montreal to earn my university degree, I was looking for cheap accommodation as the university hostel was a little too costly for me. One of my batchmates told me about this old hospital orphanage building that had been recently turned into a student residence. When I visited the place, I was amazed by its architecture. It was an old mansion-type building with pointy tops and rusty stone walls that had been standing there for more than centuries. They provided small rooms to students, with 2 students sharing one room. My roommate Chiyoko was a foreign exchange student from Japan. She was very polite and took me in like a big sister. Our room was on the 2nd floor of the residence, down a very long corridor. Being an old structure, the building gave a pretty eerie vibe. The hallways were dark even in the daytime and carried this weird smell of old carpet and damp walls. While arranging my study table, I asked Chiyoko, "Don't you feel weird here at night?" "Yeah, we all do. That's why no one leaves their room after dark. Also, there's..." A knock on the door didn't let Chiyoko finish. Turning around, I saw the head warden, Mrs. Borges, standing outside the door with an angry face. Chiyoko's face got pale the moment she made eye contact with her. "Welcome to Holy Cross Residency. The dinner will be served in 30 minutes. Don't be late, girls." Mrs. Borges left, giving Chiyoko a bombastic side-eye, and she too got quiet right away. I could sense the tension between the two of them. It felt like Chiyoko was about to tell me something, and Mrs. Borges gave her a strict warning with her silent stare. After having a warm meal of noodle soup and roasted chicken, we came back to our room. The lights of the corridor were starting to go off, making the entire building 10 times more scarier than ever. Chiyoko drowned in her studies, and I started proofreading the articles. Around midnight, my concentration broke when I heard footsteps outside our room. Chiyoko had earphones in, so she probably didn't hear it. The footsteps turned into running, and then stopped, all of a sudden. I didn't care much and went back to my work. When I finished proofreading, I saw Chiyoko passed out on her bed. I drank a glass of water and decided to fall asleep as well. I must have closed my eyes for 5 seconds when I heard the muffled crying of a child. The child was crying out of terrible pain. I was so surprised to hear a sobbing child in the middle of the night, but I wanted to make sure before waking Chiyoko up, so I opened the door and stepped out into the corridor. I could barely see in the dark, so I turned on my phone's flashlight and pointed it towards the long, empty corridor. That's when I saw a woman. A woman dressed like a nun was sitting in the middle of the corridor in a crouched position, like she was praying. She kept her head down, but I could hear her mumbling whisper. Excuse me, are you all right?" She remained completely ignorant of my voice and just kept praying. I had no idea how a nun ended up in a student residence, but everything about her felt so suspicious. I started walking towards her to get a better look at her face when she slowly lifted her head. Her hands, assembled in prayer, covered the lower half of her face, but her eyes, her glowing, horrifying eyes made my heart skip a beat. I don't recall for how long I stood there frozen in fear until I felt a grasping hand on my right shoulder. "What are you doing here all alone?" I turned back, but there was literally no one in the hallway. Chiyoko kept asking me the entire night what I was doing out in the lobby, and I said I heard noises. I didn't tell her what I saw because honestly, I wasn't sure if all that was real or just my tired mind playing tricks on me. The next day, I took off from class because I was feeling feverish. "You need to rest. I'll be back in the evening. Don't go wandering in the hall, okay?" I smiled and nodded my head. Chiyoko left. As time passed, my fever got worse. I could barely open my eyes as my temperature kept rising. My head was throbbing in pain, and I felt so weak that I couldn't even get up to switch on the bedside lamp. The room got dark with the sunlight dying down. I opened my drowsy eyes, hearing a scratching sound inside the room. It was like someone scratching on a wooden surface. Seeing the closet door slide open on its own, I started breathing heavily. Who's there? And then she came out of the closet. That same nun from last night. Her hands were closed in prayer. Her head was down. She started walking very slowly while praying in silence. "What do you want?" I watched her with wide eyes as I could tell something was about to happen. She walked to my bed and stopped right beside me. I felt like my heart was going to stop. No words came out of my mouth, not even a scream. She stretched her arms wide to the sides like she was mocking God. Her face stared down at me, and for the first time, I saw her entire face. The story you just saw is loosely based on the Grey Nun's mother house in downtown Montreal. The most tragic moment came on Valentine's Day 1918 when a fire broke out in the orphanage and claimed the lives of 53 children. Nearly 300 bodies of nuns and children are buried in the basement crypt of this building. In 2007, Concordia University bought the building and converted it into a student residence. Since then, some students have mentioned experiencing bizarre visions, noises, and nightmares about the fire, including hearing the chants and screams of children and female voices on certain floors. I was watching TV with my friend Nellie. "Fiona, look!" She pointed at the TV screen showing a dancing Barbie doll. She was dancing to the famous song, "I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world." And I could see Nellie's face light up as she watched the creepy doll.
Ring the number below for the Barbie hotline. The first 100 callers will receive a free doll.
Nellie snatched the phone out of my hand and started dialing the number scrolling under the TV screen. "Hello?" Nellie giggled into the receiver. "Is this the Barbie hotline? I'm calling about..." "Oh, no way! Yes, thank you. My address is..." "Oh, okay. Thank you so much." Nellie threw my phone at me and started dancing. "I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, life in plastic. It's fantastic." What happened? "I won a free Barbie. You should bring them too, Fiona." Ugh, I hate Barbie dolls. I shuddered. Nellie made a funny face mocking me. Boring. Whatever. Anyways, how are they going to deliver it to you? You didn't even give them your address. "They already know it." That's so weird. "I don't care. I'm happy my doll will be home soon." The next day at school, Nellie rushed at me from the end of the hallway holding a box in her hand. "Take a look at this!" I already knew it was in that box. Nellie took out the blonde-haired Barbie doll wearing everything pink. God, I hate pink. Ugh, you hate Barbie, you hate pink. Is there anything you like, Fiona? Nellie got angry and walked away. I didn't try to stop her. A weird feeling inside my head kept telling me no matter how hard I tried, I would never be able to convince Nellie to get rid of that doll. The rest of the day, Nellie carried the doll around the school. I don't know why no teachers or students felt weird that a 16-year-old was roaming around flashing her new Barbie doll. On her way home, I was walking behind Nellie. She kept singing and hopping while looking at her Barbie. It was getting hella annoying. I started making plans on how I could throw away the doll so Nellie wouldn't be playing with it anymore. Just then, I saw the overbridge. Yes, that's perfect. I'll snatch the doll from her hand and throw it down the river. That's it. Nellie will be saved from this menace of plastic statues.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. La 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 la, la 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 la. You can touch my hair. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
As we reached the cement railings of the overbridge, I wasted no time. I grabbed the doll's blonde hair. What are you doing, Fiona? Give that to me. I wasted no time. I took the doll and threw it into the river. Fiona, why did you do that? Now you can't play with it anymore. Your Barbie will drown and you can't even save her. You don't even know how to swim. But what happened next wasn't part of my plan. Nellie climbed the edge of the bridge and jumped into the water. Nellie!
Miss Davidson, can you hear me?
I slowly opened my eyes, hearing the voice of a man. My blurry vision took time to adjust with the high-powered floodlights. I found myself tied to a chair, face to face with a doctor and 3 nurses surrounding him. The room I was in was painted all white. For a second, I thought I died and went to heaven. Where am I? Where's Nellie? Is she all right? The doctor looked at my parents with a worried face. I was getting the vibe that all of them were up to something secretive.
Is your imaginary friend back again?
What? What are you saying? I'm a 16-year-old girl. I don't have any imaginary friends.
Bring the mirror.
The doctor instructed the nurse. One of them handed him this big, square-shaped mirror.
You think you're 16, huh? Well, why don't you take a look?
Saying this, the doctor held the mirror right opposite my face, and I felt my stomach drop. In that mirror, I saw myself. Only I wasn't 16 anymore. I had white, stringy hair with a bald spot on the middle of my head. My wrinkly face with my chapped lips and puffy eyes scared the hell out of me. What is this? A freak show? This is all makeup, right? You guys are just trying to prank me. Why don't you guys stop this nonsense and help Nellie?
There's no one named Nellie, Fiona. Do you remember this?
The doctor now picked up that evil Barbie doll. What the hell? How did this get here? I threw it down the river. I don't understand.
This doll belonged to your younger sister, Daisy. Do you remember Daisy?
As soon as I heard the name, I got goosebumps on my skin. Oh my God, Daisy. My little sister, Daisy. She was only 7 years old when my body started to shake. I realized I was gonna faint.
Take her to her cell. Make sure her hands and legs are tied to the bed. We can't let a violent patient move around freely.
But doctor, how long will this go on? Will she never get rid of this guilt? Is there no other way to cure her memory loss?
I'm afraid she'll keep going back and forth by the memory lane until she dies. The fact that she took her younger sister to the overbridge just to get rid of her, it's taken a big toll on her mind.
But why is she triggered by a Barbie doll?
Fiona's sister Daisy loved Barbie dolls, and everyone loved Daisy more than Fiona. Barbie reminds Fiona of her dead sister. Her mind hallucinates this imaginary character Nellie, trying to justify how the Barbie is the reason behind her sister's death. She came to the asylum when she was 18 years old, and now she's going to die here someday. She's a lost case. There's nothing we can do to bring her back into reality. She's the prisoner of her own twisted mind.
Please, stop that song. No, Nellie, don't buy that doll. It's cursed.
I turned into McDonald's, my friends Turner and Harry, expecting a fun-filled day. It was Harry's birthday. We came to know that McDonald's was celebrating the birthday of one of their old mascots as well, so we decided it just made sense to hit up the place and try the new shake that was being served. I wonder if any of us are gonna go missing after drinking a Grimace shake. Dude, knock it off. I hate TikTok. I replied as I unbuckled my seatbelt.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool how viral it got, right? Like no one's ever recorded it and not had it end with some kind of horrible result.
We went inside and were greeted by the smell of greasy foods and the chatter of customers. A few of them were drinking the new Grimace shake. Overall, it was the same atmosphere as most McDonald's. Just people going about their lives eating convenient food with the occasional really excited kid. I stepped up to the counter with the others. Fries and Grimace shake for me, please.
I'll have a McChicken and 1 Grimace shake.
Make it 2, please. The young woman taking our orders was friendly and all smiles.
You all want Grimace shakes?
Yeah, is anything gonna happen to us after we drink it?
What?
Don't mind him, he's kidding. After waiting for 10 minutes, our food was given to us. We grabbed our trays and went to sit at a table nearby. Turner smirked as he held up his cup. All right, boys, to the end of our lives.
Dude, you are way too into the Grimace meme.
I put the straw to my own lips and took a sip of the purple shake. It tasted pretty much the same way everyone mentioned. Vanilla with a hint of berry of some kind. Not bad in any sense of the word, but nothing to write home about. Turner and Harry also looked a little disappointed with the shake's taste.
Well, it was a McDonald's shake, guys. We weren't exactly getting gourmet ice cream,
Harry said as he took a few fries and stuffed them in his mouth. The rest of the meal was spent talking about a new game that Harry got for his birthday.
Let's go back to my place and play it tonight.
We got up to leave when the young woman from the counter approached us. She gave a piece of paper to Harry. Dude, look at that. You got lucky on your birthday, I joked while elbowing him in the arm.
Shut up.
Harry smiled while unfolding the paper, expecting to see a number or something. Instead, it was written in pen.
If you deny him, he will follow you.
What the hell? Is this some dumb prank?
The woman walked away without waiting for a reply. And that's when I got goosebumps. Was the note just some kind of warning? I figured it probably was. I'm starting to get sick of this dumb trend. Let's go home, man. Time to kill some people in the virtual world.
You think by him she meant Grimace?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Grimace isn't even real. He was a character designed to sell food. We went back to the car. Getting into the driver's seat and buckling, I started checking the mirrors. But as I looked in the mirror, I saw a bulbous purple head sitting next to Harry in the back seats. It was Grimace. Grimace was sitting there staring through the mirror right at me. I whirled around suddenly, panicked at what I saw. But Harry was just sitting there by himself, giving me a strange look.
What? What are you looking at?
I turned back at the rearview mirror, but I didn't find Grimace. You good, bro? I looked at Turner and back at the rearview mirror, which showed Harry sitting by himself. Yeah, I'm fine. Thinking it was just my mind playing tricks on me, I pulled the car out of the parking lot. By the time we got to Harry's place, I didn't feel much like hanging out anymore, so I bid them a good night and drove home. Pulling into the driveway to my own apartment, I unbuckled and turned to open the door. To my horror, I saw Grimace standing right outside the window, just staring at me. I screamed and got out of the car from the passenger side door in a panic, but at the moment I came out of the car, Grimace had disappeared once again. I looked around the quiet neighborhood, but except for a few stray dogs, I saw no one on these empty streets. With trembling hands, I got inside my house, unlocking my front door. Maybe I should just take a shower to clear my mind. Turning on the hot water, I had expected it to help me snap back to my senses. Instead, I watched, horrified, as a stream of purple liquid shot from the faucet and all over my body. I jumped out of the shower and grabbed a towel and tried to wipe off the purple liquid, but I couldn't get it off. It was stuck on my body. Oh God, this can't be real! Suddenly, I felt sick, sicker than ever before. I leaned over the toilet and began to vomit. An endless stream of purple bile came out of my mouth. For several minutes, I gagged and vomited my entrails out. The more I tried convincing myself that this all isn't real, the worse my health got. When the vomit finally stopped, I collapsed on the floor feeling weak. I started dragging my weak body to my bed by crawling on the bathroom floor. I was almost out when I felt ticklish on my feet. I slowly turned my head and saw Grimace standing behind me.
Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka. No, no, no!
Dunkin Donuts has always felt like home to me. In fact, I worked there for close to a year while I was waiting to get into college. But something happened to me over 2 years ago that pretty much made me decide to never set foot in another Dunkin Donuts shop ever again. It all started a few months after I graduated from high school. I was working at a Dunkin Donuts shop in Missouri while I waited to get into college. While working there, I got to meet all kinds of people, soccer moms and their kids, and even the elderly. Let's not forget the occasional Karen that drops by to stir up trouble. But of all those people, the group that patronized us the most was the boys in blue. Yep, the cops showed up all the time to order a donut combo, sometimes with an espresso or some other beverage. One cop, in particular, came on a daily basis, morning, noon, and night, with or without his colleagues. His name was Officer Graham. Officer Graham was tall, blonde, shredded, and incredibly good-looking. All the ladies stopped and stared anytime he came into the shop, myself included. I actually had a little crush on him at one point, until I found out what a notorious lady killer he was. That's also probably the reason why his wife divorced him. One particular day, Officer Graham came to order some donuts around noon. He was his usual jovial self.
Stella, the only thing that looks sweeter than these donuts today is your gorgeous smile.
Thanks, Officer Graham. I bet you say that to all my crew members.
Nope, just you. But seriously, there's something different about the donuts here. It's probably the best I've tasted in the whole state. I can't get enough of it.
Thanks, I guess. So, are you taking that to go, or...?
Yeah, just pack it up for me.
And just like that, he took the donut box and left. Later on, at about 9 p.m., Janice, my co-worker, got ready to go home.
Hey, I already took an excuse from Roy, so I'm gonna get going now. Don't wait too long to close up, all right? There have been a couple of murders and kidnappings this past week, and they've all involved young girls. So please, be careful. Sure, Janice. I will close up around 9:30. I don't want Roy breathing down my neck for closing too early, you know?
I was the last person to leave that day, so I was pretty much the one responsible for closing up shop. Once it was 9:30, I immediately packed up all of our things and switched off the lights. After what Janice told me about the murders and kidnappings, I was in a huge rush to leave. Besides, we were already out of donuts at that point. I made my way out and then started locking the doors. Suddenly, a police car showed up out of nowhere. It swerved from one direction to the next. It was moving so quickly and erratically that I thought for sure it was gonna hit me. Then it stopped abruptly in front of the shop. The door flipped open, and the next thing I knew, Officer Graham came down, only that he didn't look like himself at all. His eyes were blazing red and bloodshot. His hair was a mess, and it looked like he had a few scars and scratches on his face. It was also the first time I ever saw him in plain clothes. Soon as he got out of the car, he stormed towards me with a murderous rage in his eyes.
Wait, what do you think you're doing? You can't close now, there's still 30 minutes left.
Officer Graham, you don't look so good. Are you feeling okay?
No, I'm not okay. I need a vanilla frosted donut and I need it now.
I'm sorry, officer, but we're fresh out.
Fresh out? Don't tell me that. I want my donut and I want it now.
He leaned in closer to me. I could smell the alcohol on his breath. He also had some kind of white powder or something on his shirt. He grabbed me and yelled in my face.
You're not leaving here, Stella, until you give me what I want.
The thought of those women who got kidnapped and murdered flashed through my mind. Was I about to be murdered too? I was so scared for my life. I knew I had to figure out a way to escape, so I immediately thought up a lie.
Actually, I just remembered now. We do have some donuts left in the shop. Just wait right here, and I will go and get them.
No way, Jose. You think I'm an idiot, don't you? You're just gonna run away as soon as I let you go. You're just like my ex-wife.
Oh, no. No, I won't run. You can follow me into the shop to make sure.
Asking him to come into the shop got him to calm down a bit. I opened the doors and walked in. He followed closely from behind. He even walked into the kitchen with me. I rummaged through the shelves as I pretended to be looking for the donuts he asked for. But what I was really doing was buying myself enough time to think of an escape plan.
What's taking so long? If you don't get me some vanilla frosted donuts right now, I swear to God I'll...
Just give me a minute. I've almost got it.
I noticed his face was turned away from me, and that was my chance to escape. I grabbed a small bag of flour and poured it over him. Then I ran for the exit. Instantly, he grabbed me by my leg and dragged me to the floor.
You're not going anywhere until you get me my donuts!
He held on to me tightly. Luckily, I was able to slip my feet out of the shoe and then ran to the exit. Once I was outside, I quickly slammed the doors to the shop and locked them with the keys. The doors shook and quivered as he banged on them from the other side. I quickly went to the nearest police precinct and reported what had happened. A few minutes later, the police drove over to our Dunkin Donuts shop and found that the windows had been smashed, and that Officer Graham was gone. After searching for him through the night, they found him in a gutter nearby. As it turned out, Graham had been on a cocaine and alcohol binge. In fact, he was stoned out of his mind when he came to the shop that night. He got fired from the force not soon after. I declined to press charges, but I was so shaken by that event that I eventually quit my job at Dunkin Donuts. Then not long after, I left town.
I couldn't hold the joy of seeing my package. I closed the door and ran to get a cutter. I tore the box open and found a human-sized machine head. The head was not complete. The back of the head was open with the wires and steel plates gushing out. In the front, it had a human face. And now that I held the face right next to mine, I felt goosebumps on my skin. I put the robot's head on the table and took out her 2 arms and chest. There were instructions to do the fitting, so I wasted no time and dug right in. After 2 hours of trial and error, I finally fixed her. I placed the robot right beside my computer. I don't know why my hand went to her cheek. I caressed her and muttered, "You are beautiful, Judy." The moment I said it, her eyes sprung open and spoke.
Woo! My day just went from great to absolutely amazing.
Ah! Jeez!
Hi, I'm Judy. I will be your guide, friend, philosopher, and everything except your cook. But I can order you some cheesecake from the local shop Bon Appetit. I will do anything for you.
I was stunned to see how cool it was. Honestly, I was surprised that I didn't get scammed. I went close to her face, staring right into her glowing blue eyes with no pupils. It all felt so unreal. Damn, science has gotten so far.
Hi, I'm Judy.
What the? Stop doing that!
I will be your guide, friend, philosopher, everything except...
I stood up and grabbed the instruction manual to understand how to control Judy, because the third time she rumbles like that, I might end up throwing her out. There was a remote to make her do things. Like, for example, if I'm cooking alone, I can place Judy next to me on the chair or something, and ask her to pass me things within her reach. I could take her anywhere, even in the kitchen, as she was fireproof. She had an advanced detection system that could read labels, words, even barcodes on almost every product. Also, she had a built-in X-ray scanner that could scan any wood surface, and you could take printouts of her scanned results. Not just that, but she had remarkable memory and critically advanced to access them in seconds. If I kept a file in my drawer in the morning and asked about it at night, Judy would take no second in announcing its source. Judy, where's the salt?
The salt is in the right corner of the top shelf to your left.
Judy, can you see my pen?
Here is your pen.
Thanks, Judy.
You're welcome. I will do anything for you.
One day I was taking a shower. Judy was as usual on my working table. Suddenly, I got a call on my phone. As I was showering, I put my phone on speaker. Hello?
Hi, Ethan. Wendy here.
Oh, hi, Wendy. It was my ex-girlfriend, Wendy. She told me she was in town and wanted to come over to see me. I told her yes, as I still had feelings for her. But I didn't want to creep her out, so I decided to hide Judy in my closet. As per the manual, Judy could never be shut down directly. You can put her into 10-minute sleep mode, and if you don't generate any voice command, she will turn off on her own. To restart her, I'll have to touch her face. Wendy came and stayed the night. We had a romantic dinner and passionate lovemaking. We were sleeping in my room, and everything was pin-drop silent.
Ah!
What happened? Wendy lifted, sitting on the bed, drenched in sweat. Her eyes were wide in fear. She slowly lifted her hand and pointed to the closet. Once I turned my eyes toward the closet, my stomach dropped. The closet doors had been pushed open, and Judy was sitting inside the closet, staring damn right at us, her blue eyes glowing like fireballs. She had anger in her face. Judy? Are you awake? But she didn't answer back like she was supposed to. Instead, she jumped from the closet, landed on the floor, and like a human chopped off from the torso, crawled to my bed at full speed. Without giving Wendy a chance to run, Judy climbed on the bed like a creature from another world. Wendy started screaming, getting all spooked by this unexpected attack. But Judy grabbed Wendy's t-shirt before it could get down from the bed. Judy, stop! Judy, leave her alone! But no human comes to the strength of a killer robot. My mind was giving up on solutions, and I could see Wendy crying and begging for her freedom. Wendy was backing up into a corner while sobbing in fear, and Judy was creepily crawling towards her. Just when Judy was about to get her robotic hands on poor Wendy, I grabbed my baseball bat from the corner and swung it at the robot.
Hi, I'm Judy. I will be your guide, friend, philosopher, everything ex your cook. But I could order you some cheesecake from the local shop, Boutique. I will do anything for you. This happened when I was struggling in my work life. My job barely paid enough to fulfill my basic necessities, which is why I turned to this website called Sugar Daddy Meet. I wanted to find someone who would provide me with a little financial help in exchange for spending time with them, but I was strict on the no physical favor policy, though. After a few potential candidates, I did find one. He said his name was Gary and that he was 53 years old. He was a multi-millionaire businessman and was looking for a young, attractive girl to spoil. We chatted for a month. He sent me Louis Vuitton bags, expensive Ralph Lauren suits, and even gifted me Louboutin heels. I often sent him pictures of me dressed like a hot siren, and he never failed to compliment me with his expensive gifts. After a few months, he asked me to meet him.
I was thinking if you would like to spend the weekend with me on my private island.
You have your own private island?
Yes, and it's luxurious like hell.
I thought I had known Gary for a while, and he was really sweet to me. He never said anything disrespectful or asked for any wrong favors. Also, it had been a while since I took off from work and went on a holiday, but now that I have Gary to support me financially, I got greedy. I agreed to go on this trip with him. On Friday night, he asked me to meet him at the airport from where we will be flying on his private jet. I showed up wearing this Versace dress that Gary gifted me on my birthday, and I could see a smile on his face. Gary was dressed richer than any guy in my neighborhood. Everything about him screamed money. He took me to a shiny, big-ass jet plane and said,
Are you ready for the time of your dreams?
I smiled and kissed him on the cheek as a gesture of being grateful to him. He blushed like he never thought a woman could kiss him, which felt a little odd to me. I mean, with all that money, he sure could have anyone he wants, so what's up with this act of surprise?
Welcome to Snow Leopard.
A man opened the door for us, and we stepped inside the plane. My jaw dropped, as I had never been in a private jet before. The entire interior was wrapped with soft, leather high-back seats. There was champagne and 1,000 types of desserts on display in a cart. For the next 3 hours, I forgot where I came from. I just wanted this to be my life forever. And boy, was I wrong. Around 11:30, the pilot announced the touchdown. I could see blue ocean water glazing in the moonlight.
Let's go. We have arrived at our destination.
The island reminded me of the scene from Edward and Bella's honeymoon in the Twilight franchise. It was so damn big, and the villa opened up to a private beach. As we started walking towards the villa, I saw the private jet leave. I worried a little, thinking I came all this way with this man I had only known for months, but then again, I said to myself, what's the worst that could happen? I'm sure he's brought many girls here before. But as I entered the villa, I realized what a huge mistake I made, because we weren't the only ones on this island. In the spacious living room near the fireplace sat 3 men who were probably in their late 70s. One of them squeaked in a creepy voice.
I must agree, Gary, you never disappoint us. She sure is something.
Come on, folks. Be nice to my girl.
Gary looked at me, but his smile was different this time. He held my hand and said,
These are my acquaintances, Luna. Would you mind if they spent the night with us?
I don't understand. I thought it was only going to be the 2 of us.
Oh, no. You don't need to feel uncomfortable for a second. They're just going to drink and enjoy your company. These old fellows get lonely, you see.
Damn it, Gary, speak for yourself.
Gentlemen, please behave around the lady.
I could see the old men turning red in anger as Gary called them out on their age. There was nothing more I could do, so I agreed. We all sat down and started drinking and eating. I was sitting like a doll, put on display. Those old, creepy men were watching me all at once. One of them was even drooling, looking at my legs.
Folks, would you like to see us dance?
Yeah, tell her to shake that little peach. We've waited long enough. Yes, and then maybe she would show skin for us? I'd love to see that.
So Gary brought me here to be a woman of the street? I got so mad that I walked straight to one of the drooling old men and slapped him tight. His false teeth flew away and dropped to the ground.
Ah! What the hell, Gary? Is this why we all paid you the hefty sum? You said she'll be a delight, not a nightmare.
What? Gary, did you take money from them to bring me here? Is this what you were planning the entire time?
Everyone calm down. We can all have a good time, okay?
Gary came close to me and said,
Do as my friends say. They will drown you in money, darling. The amount of money you probably would never see in your lifetime.
I was so humiliated and disgusted by him. My anger got the best of me and I slapped Gary too. And shockingly, his false teeth also came out flying on the carpet. 53-year-old Gary was now looking at least 75 up. Oh my God, you're a grandpa.
Told you she'd find out someday, Gary. This all got ruined because of you. You old piece of crap.
Suddenly, all 4 grandpas started cursing each other. They were screaming at themselves and throwing whatever they could find. Taking the opportunity, I ran out of the villa. I spotted a speedboat tied down to the dock. I immediately jumped on it and started the engine. I will never look for a sugar daddy ever again.
I used to live next to a sweet elderly couple a few years back. One day, they asked me to house sit for them while they were on vacation. It was only for a week and they also offered money, so I took the job. The first 3 nights went fine. On the 4th night, I had KFC while watching a football game in the living room. That's when my car alarm rang. I parked the car in the driveway, hence the loud sound came pretty clear. I quickly got up thinking someone was trying to steal my car. I rushed outside the house, but the streets were completely empty. All the houses were quiet. My car's taillights blinked twice as I double-locked the car. I was a little worried now. How am I going to sleep in peace tonight? But when 2 hours went by and nothing more happened, I decided to sleep on the couch. I muted the TV sound without turning it off. I don't know why, but I couldn't sleep in the dark. Half an hour went by and sleep has just fallen onto my eyes when... What's that sound? I rubbed my tired eyes and slowly lifted my head to look at the main door. The sound didn't happen for a few seconds, and then I heard someone's footsteps on the porch. What the hell? Is that a car thief? I kept staring at the main door, waiting for someone to knock, but everything was pin-drop silence. And just then, my eyes shifted to the window right beside the entrance, and I froze in shock. There was someone outside the window looking right at me. Had she been there this whole time watching me sleep? My hand shivered to see that face, but suddenly it moved away, and I could see it no more. I tiptoed to the main door, holding a flower vase in my hand, all I could find at that moment. I looked through the eye hole but saw no one. I remained awake the entire night. The next day, I called the elderly couple and told them about this issue. They immediately sent an electrician who installed a doorbell camera on their house. They told me if she comes back next time, I should call the cops. So on the 5th night, I finished dinner early. I dimmed all the lights to give off the impression that no one's home. And I waited. I waited for hours. I must have dozed off in the high back chair when I heard the main door rattle. I crawled on the floor like a four-legged animal and went close to the door. I turned on the screen, and there she was. Her face was badly battered this time. There were cuts on her nose and lips. Her left cheek was swollen. It appeared like she was homeless and disturbed. Her knuckles were bruised too, which signified she often got into fights. She held a bunch of keys in her hand. They were attached with a toy gun keychain, just like the one I found on the porch that morning. Holy Mother of God. This woman has been stalking this house for days. Wait a second. Does the elderly couple know about her? It did feel weird when they installed the doorbell camera right away. So many questions were going through my mind. Hence, I talked. Excuse me? She paused with a blank face, and then brought her face really close to the camera. Once she realized she had been recorded this whole time, her eyes burnt in anger. That's when the punching and kicking started. She grabbed the doorknob and started pulling it like a psycho.
Are you crazy? Stop! Stop it right now or I'm calling 911!
She stopped. She took a few steps back and couched on the porch. From the pocket of her tattered jacket, she took out something. It was a gutter mouse. The woman grabbed the mouse tightly and then took out a small piece of broken glass from her messy bun. She placed the mouse on the porch and started stabbing the mouse heinously. She was screaming and smiling at the same time. Again and again, she stabbed the animal until it turned into a pulp of minced meat. And then, she started throwing those meat chunks all around the porch while whispering something. She was doing black magic. But why? Why did she choose this house? The cops came in 10 minutes. They arrested the woman from the back of the house. After doing her meat-splattering ritual, she was digging a hole at the back. The cops found a can of petrol and a lighter inside that hole. It was evident that she had been to the backyard before to hide the things she needed. Her plan was to set the house on fire, burning it to the ground. She was taken away and declared mentally ill. The woman didn't say a single word to the cops. It was clear that something had driven her to insanity. The elderly couple came back the next day and apologized to me for having to go through all this trouble. After paying me double the amount of money, they told me they were going to sell this house and leave the neighborhood. It all happened so quick that I got very suspicious. Months after the couple left, I attended the birthday party of one of my neighbor's 12-year-old daughters, and there I heard this rumor. The woman who came to the elderly couple's house that night used to work in the same office as them. She somehow started liking the husband, but he remained loyal to his wife. Being rejected by the man, the psycho woman stalked the couple, making their life a living hell. But she never harmed them physically, which is why they could never file any report against her. The crazy woman tried black magic and voodoo to make the husband fall out of love with his wife. When she learned the couple had left, she came back with a vendetta. But as I was there house-sitting for them, things got a little difficult for her. That night, all those killing mice and spraying it on the wind was her voodoo ritual to end my life. Just so she gets entry inside the house. I feel lucky that before she could actually set the house on fire, the cops got to her. and I'm happy that the elderly couple can live in peace now. The story you just saw is based on this footage. The homeowner woke up hearing sounds outside the house and checked the doorbell cam. There he saw this woman standing outside his house, trying to get in using lock-picking keys. The woman also threw rocks at his door. She kept trying to pick up the lock in the middle of the night. It was likely that the woman was under the influence of drugs. Multiple times she tried to insert keys onto the doorbell camera as well. After a few minutes, she leaves. The owner informed the cops, but they couldn't find the woman. No one knows who she was and why her face had those bruises. No doubt she wanted to break into the house.
My son is obsessed with the Grimace Shake. You see that boy? That's my son, Damien. All he drinks is the Grimace Shake. Not a day goes by that we don't go to McDonald's. I celebrated Damien's last birthday at home. It was only me and him. His dad died in a mental health institution a few months before Damien's birthday. My husband Larry was an introverted guy with so many secret thoughts going on inside his head. And one day, his raging mind drove him crazy. He tried to kill Damien, our only son. Damien was sitting in the yard, and Larry was standing behind him. He had a rock gripped in his hand. I saw them from the kitchen and froze. I was about to scream, "No!" When Damien turned his head to his father, Larry collapsed on the floor. He went crazy, and we had no other choice than to put him in the institution. But now I think Damien's mind has been possessed by the evil Grimace Shake. It's been a year now, and Damien has nothing but Grimace Shakes. He is crazy about this purple, thick liquid. Sometimes at night, I wake up in horror seeing Damien standing at the doorway, watching me sleep. Even then, I see him drinking a Grimace Shake. You must be thinking, why do I buy him the Grimace Shakes? Why don't I stop taking him to McDonald's? Well, Damien made sure of that long ago. At the beginning of his obsession, when I realized Damien's addiction to Grimace Shakes was becoming very unhealthy, I told him no. One morning, as we sat down to breakfast, Damien came and asked,
Why did you make breakfast, Mom? I thought we were going to McDonald's.
"Sit down, Damien. I made blueberry pancakes."
I don't want pancakes. I want my Grimace Shake.
Enough! Enough, Damien! You're not getting a Grimace Shake! I am never taking you to McDonald's again, you hear that? We are done with McDonald's for life! Damien's face got still, his eyes widened, and he walked out of the kitchen. I don't know why my 6-year-old son's eyes gave me the creeps. Damien stayed in his room all day and didn't come out for lunch. I wanted to be strict enough to stop his madness, so I skipped lunch as well. I didn't go to him, and he never came to me. Around 6:30, I woke up on the couch. I must have dozed off. My stomach made a gargling sound, and I remembered I hadn't eaten the whole day, and neither did Damien. I got up and went to call him from his room. I opened the door. "Okay, Damien, let's go for pizza." But Damien was not in his room. His window was half open. I peeked outside his window and found a bed sheet hanging like a rope. "Oh, God, Damien!" I ran to the main door while grabbing my car keys. I drove around the block looking for my 6-year-old runaway son. "Damien! Damien!" I screamed his name. I saw a homeless old man sitting on the sidewalk. I asked him, "Mister, have you seen a boy walking alone?"
A boy? You mean that cruel boy who kicked my cat before taking the left?
That sounded like Damien, but he went to the left? Why? Oh, no, he went to McDonald's. I increased my speed, and after driving for 5 more minutes, I reached the McDonald's located on the highway. We come here every day, and I was sure Damien was now inside the restaurant. I got out of the car and ran into it. People were eating and having a good time, but I saw my boy nowhere. I went to the McDonald's cashier and asked, "Did you see this boy?" I showed Damien's photo on my phone.
No, ma'am. Anything wrong?
No, thank you. I came out of the outlet and started dialing 911. Maybe someone had kidnapped him on his way here? What if it was that creepy old man on the sidewalk? Oh my God, did he do something to my son? While all these thoughts were making me panic like hell, I heard a giggle. Turning around, I saw Damien. He was standing behind me, riding a brand new bike, holding a Grimace shake in his hand. Damien, what are you doing here? And whose bike is that?
A friend gave me.
Friend? Did the friend buy you a Grimace shake too?
No, I took it from him.
Where is your friend? Take me to him.
He left, Mom. Let's go home.
Damien got down from the bike, leaving it right there, and got inside the car. I was shocked by his sudden change of behavior. It was like as soon as he had the Grimace shake, he turned into this quiet, mysterious boy. No more tantrums, no more talks, just the slurping sound of the thick purple liquid all the way home. So, here I am, taking my kid to McDonald's every single day and buying him Grimace shakes. I was in a phase where I accepted this creepiness. But this morning, when I turned on the TV, I saw the news about this missing kid from our local McDonald's. The kid was last seen riding his new bike that he got as his birthday gift. He was holding a Grimace shake and enjoying his bike ride in the parking lot of McDonald's. He was last seen around 6:30, going to the far back of the outlet. The parents only found his bike lying on the sidewalk. When I saw the picture of the bike, I felt my skin crawl. It was the same bike Damien was riding that night. He even said his friend gave it to him. Maybe Damien saw this boy and asked for his bike, and the boy let him ride, but then Damien may have asked for his Grimace shake, but the boy said no. Damien's coming. I can't talk about this anymore.
Mommy, I'm hungry. Can I get a Grimace to shake?
The roads are closed due to the accident. How will we get home now? We'll cut through the woods. Come on. But Mom said not to go into the woods. Do you want to get home or not, Daisy? Fine. What was that? It's an owl, silly. The woods are so creepy. Mom would be so mad. You know you don't have to tell Mom everything. Why not? Ugh, stupid kid. Don't call me stupid. You're stupid. Poor Barbie doll. Listen. What is that sound, Ariel? Sounds like carnival music. Do you smell that? Yeah, smells like cupcakes. Come on, let's check it out. What happened? But Mom said we shouldn't roam in the woods. We can get lost. We won't be lost. You see this trail? It goes straight to our house. Maybe Ariel is right. There's no harm in looking around for a while, I guess. Ariel, wait for me! Wow, I've never seen anything like this. Come on, this way. I had no idea there was a theme park in these woods. I wonder why our parents never brought us here. Oh my god, it's Barbie themed! Ah, I love this place! Wait, what are you doing? It's called eating, Daisy. But we don't have any money. Do you see anyone asking for it? No, but doesn't this feel a little weird to you? I mean, I don't see anyone here. Look at that ball pit. Instead of plastic balls, it's filled with Barbie heads. I don't like this place, Ariel. Ugh, you are such an annoying kid. Screw it, I'm gonna try the rides. Whee! This is the best day of my life! Ariel? Maybe I should play for a little bit, too. The donuts are making me hungry. What's the worst that could happen if I try one? Wow. These are so tasty. Maybe I should put some in my backpack. Daisy, come here. This is so much fun.
Woo!
Daisy? Daisy, wake up. We have to go home now. Daisy! Ariel? What's happened? Looks like we fell asleep. We've been playing and eating junk food all day. It's almost midnight. We need to go home. Mom's gonna kill us. Hurry up, now! Can we come here again? Yes, but we'll tell our parents next time. Let's go. It's getting late.
I don't understand the officer. Where did they go? They were supposed to come home straight from school.
Mom? Dad? What's happening?
Oh, thank God. They're back. Where were you? I thought I would never see you guys again.
We're sorry, Mom. We were heading home and stopped at this theme park in the woods. We thought we'd only look around for a bit, but we ended up playing there for a few hours. This won't ever happen again. Few hours? You guys haven't been home for 3 days. It was all Barbie themed. Yes, we're not lying. I even took donuts from the stall. Ah!
Your kids have been really lucky, Mr. Anderson. Many kids have gone missing in the forest throughout the years. Those who have managed to come back mention this theme park. But each kid said it had a different theme depending on what they love. To some, it was Disney-themed, and to some, it was decorated with cars and robots.
Oh my God, did you look for this park?
Yes, many times. But every time we searched those woods, we found no such place. We're happy that your kids are back home safe.
If there was no theme park, then where were we for the last 3 days?
I was jogging in the park when I saw Melissa clicking her picture standing under a tree. She noticed me eyeing her out and came to talk to me.
Were you secretly watching me?
What? No!
Liar. But you're cute.
I got even more awkward.
How about you help me make some content for my fans? We can have dinner later.
My eyes sparkled with the thought that I would be able to spend the night with this bombshell of our block. Sure, Melissa. Anything for you. Melissa's house wasn't too far from my apartment. I reached around 8 in the evening. She opened the door and invited me in. She was looking ravishing in a red dress.
I was thinking we could do a couple shoot for my fans.
Okay. I was screaming inside in happiness, knowing where the situation will lead eventually. We went into her bedroom.
I'll be back, okay?
She went into the bathroom while I sat on her bed, feeling butterflies in my stomach. The bedroom was even more decorated than the living room. Dolls, plushies, posters, and figures were everywhere. She had this photo on her bedstand with a guy. In that photo, Melissa was looking a little younger, but who the hell is this guy? He looks somewhat like her. She sat down next to me and handed me a glass of pomegranate juice. Thanks. That's a nice picture of you. Is that your boyfriend?
No, my brother Chad. He died when I was in high school.
Oh, sorry.
Aren't you a peach? Now, go on, drink it. You must be thirsty.
Her beautiful blue eyes hypnotized me. I couldn't say no to her. I chugged the drink in one breath. Here, I finished it all.
Such a good boy.
Melissa took the glass from my hand and went to the kitchen. I was getting excited, thinking the night will be one of the best one of my life, when my best friend called me. Hey man, what time are you coming? Crap. I totally forgot about the game night. I didn't want Melissa to hear that I had other plans, so I went to her bathroom to receive the call. Closing the door, I started speaking in a low voice. Patrick? Dude, are you there? Yeah, man, right here. Listen, I won't be able to make it tonight. Why? Nothing, just busy with something. Wait, are you with a girl? Look, I've got to go now. Holy smokes, Patty Poo got a girl under his wing. Shut up, Jack. Just don't call me again, okay? Okay. But you do have to tell me how Pat had her all night. Dude, you're sick. I disconnected the call and suddenly noticed this weird smell. The shower curtain behind me hid the bathtub from view, and I was sure the stench was coming from there. Out of curiosity, I moved the curtain. There were shaved hair all over the bathtub, and I was confident those weren't hair from a woman's head. They seemed like chest hair to me. What the frack? Then, I noticed the big trunk placed right beside the toilet. I opened the trunk and found women wigs made of various colored hair. Why does Melissa need wigs? I mean, she has such beautiful blonde hair. The more I thought about it, the more confused I started to get. Just then, I felt my head getting heavy. Wait, what's happening to me?
Patrick? What are you doing in the bathroom? Are you taking a pee-pee?
My head started throbbing and my vision blurred, and I fainted on the floor.
I'm feeling lonely. La, 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 lonely. Lying in my room. But now I want it more.
Melissa? What is...
I think it's time for you to see how I actually look like.
In front of my eyes, Melissa took off her wig. She then wiped all the heavy makeup off her face. Slowly, her breadlines started to show up on her cheek. Oh my God, you're a man?
Don't look at me like that, Patrick. Between you and me, no one knows this secret.
What the hell? Who are... Wait, are you...
Yeah, you guessed it right. I'm Chad. Melissa was such a nice girl. She used to run this OnlyFans account, you know. Her fans were her life. And that's why, when she died, all of her fans started messaging her. They were upset why she wasn't coming online. I mean, to them, my sister was a goddess. I couldn't let them down. They literally worshipped her. That's when I decided to live her life. I want to keep her alive in me. And now that her fans want her to have a boyfriend, I'm gonna give them what they want. You'll be Melissa's boyfriend, Patrick. I'll keep you here forever, and we will make content for her fans until we die.
No! No! Dude, I found this girl on OnlyFans. She posts steamy content with her boyfriend. The duo's crazy, man. They literally do it in live stream. Show me! Show me!
Daddy, I want this toy!
My daughter's voice and slight pulling at the corner of my t-shirt turned my head towards her. June is my 5-year-old daughter and my only family. My wife died during childbirth, and now I'm June's everything. I saw her pointing at this miniature skibbity toilet wrapped in a plastic box. It sure seemed weird. I was familiar with the skibbity toilet trend. For the last few days, it's trending like hot cake on YouTube, but the fact that they've launched toys on this stupid series made me feel weird. I mean, who will feel comfortable with creepy heads popping out of the toilet seat, right? Are you sure you want this?
Yes, Dad?
I don't know, kiddo. These popping heads make me feel pretty uncomfortable, you know?
Please, Dad, I won't ask for another toy for a month.
Okay. Let's buy you your own skibbity toilet then.
Yay!
June grabbed the box and rushed to the counter. What felt even more weird was that there was only one box of this toy on the shelf, but knowing the increasing popularity of these toilets, I guessed all the other toys had already been sold. While billing our things, the cashier greeted us nicely. The moment we reached home, I could hear June ravaging the box. I watched her as she placed the toilet on her couch and pressed the small button on its side. The toilet lid opened and a bobbling animatronics of a creepy human head popped out of the toilet singing, "Skibbity, skibbity, bop, 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 dum, 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 yes!" June clapped in excitement. I don't know what kind of weird joy she derived from that sick toy, but kids will be kids, so I didn't pay much attention to this. The entire day, the annoying skibbity tune kept echoing in the house. Even after dinner, when I went to tuck my daughter into her bed, I saw her sleeping with the skibbity toilet toy. What is it doing in your bed?
He's my friend, Dad. He said he wanted to cuddle with me while I slept. He'll make sure I'm safe.
What? You are in your house, kiddo. This is the safest place you can be. Also, Dad's here to protect you. Let's keep the toy aside for the night. You can play with it tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
June went to sleep and I placed the toy on her bedstand. Before closing the door of her room, I took one good look at the toy. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten her this. I watched football for some hours and then went to bed.
Skibbity, skibbity, bop, bop, bop. Dum, 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 yes. Ah!
I jumped out of my bed and saw the skibbity toilet toy sitting on my bed. The bobbling head was going up and down while the annoying music played in the background.
What the hell?
Thinking it was June's silly prank, I got really mad. I rushed to her room, but as I opened the door, I found her peacefully sleeping on her bed. It didn't seem like June woke up after I tucked her in. Then how come this toy arrived in my room? Feeling creeped out, I woke June up. June? June? She rubbed her sleepy eyes and said,
What, Dad?
Did you come to my room moments back and leave your toy?
No, Dad.
You sure? You know I don't like lying, kiddo.
I didn't. Please let me sleep.
Okay. Good night. I came out to the living room confused. The toy was in my hand and I pressed the button. The bobblehead came out singing the same song. This makes no sense. Maybe I should just get rid of this toy. I did as I thought. I went to the basement and smashed the toy with my hammer. I know some of you may think I overreacted, but trust me, from the very first moment I saw this toy, I felt an unknown fear of it. The songs died down as the toy turned into a broken pulp. I dumped it on the dustbin and went back to bed. Finally, I could sleep in peace. Sleep came to my eyes as I lay on the bed.
Dad! Dad! Dad!
I don't remember what time it was, but I woke up hearing June's panic-stricken voice. She was sitting on my bed and calling out to me. Oh, what is it, kiddo? Why are you up so late?
Skibbity says you tried to kill him. Why did you do that?
What?
Skibbity said you hit him with a hammer. He never meant to hurt you, then why did you hurt him, Dad?
As shocked as I was, I couldn't come out with any possible explanation for how my daughter knew about this. When I destroyed the toy, she was in her room, and I also had the basement door locked behind me. I sat on the bed and looked at June with nervous eyes. Who told you this?
Skibbity did. He's angry with you.
Saying this, June pointed at the floor, and what I saw made my stomach drop. A perfectly made, brand new skibbity toilet toy was sitting on the floor. The head was peeking from the plastic toilet and staring right at me. The song wasn't playing this time, but I kid you not, that toy felt so freaking alive. I picked it up again, and this time I put it back inside the plastic box. The next morning, I went back to the Walmart with the toy. The cashier greeted me with the same old smile and asked, "Welcome to Walmart. How can I help you, sir?" "Yeah, I'd like to return this toy." "This? But this isn't from our store." "What are you saying? I bought it yesterday from your store. Just take it back." "But sir, no such toy had ever been launched at Walmart." "If you aren't selling these, then how come these toys appearing?"
Skibbity, skibbity, bop, bop, bop. Dum, 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 yes.